Yes, yes, yes. What is up, beautiful people? Welcome to How to Trade, formerly known as That Midday Show. That is your girl, Adara, and I'm Sharif. And I did load up the chat, so I'll do that now. There we go. All right, we got John. John's in the house, and he's been talking up a storm. Shout out to John. We got Mahash, we got Easy Trader, Big Bob Dub, Mateus Lane, we got Benson, Nimit, what's up, my man? Shout out to Singapore, Nimit, always doing the most in a good way. We got Ronaldo, Day Trader Cut, and we got the Rivian Millionaire. He's millioned up, and he's got Rivians. And damn, we got BGZ and 1320 Wolf. Shout out to my man from across the pond, Adam DeLuce. He does not lose. Killer Cam 1020, shout out to him as well. We got Rios, John 90, Solo Crystal, and Blue Arrow, Noah, Wasser, and the Skips 8. And then I can't forget Bernard. Hello to you as well, my man. Shout out to James Dell as well. Good morning.
Shout out to everybody in the chat. Good morning to you, Sharif. How are you doing this fine? I don't know what day it is, Tuesday.
I know, it feels a little bit off because we have a day off tomorrow, right? So it's like, it's Friday, but it's not. It's midweek. That's the whole thing. Guys, we are off tomorrow. The market is closed for Juneteenth, in case you didn't know. So we will not be on. There is no Learn to Trade or midday show or morning show or anything tomorrow. So let's get right down to it. I just want to show you guys what you probably already know. There is the market, and then there is NVIDIA. And the reason I say it, and I put it so dramatically, is because everything without exception in Mag 7 world is down and to the right, save and except for that bad boy on the bottom right-hand corner of your screen right there, NVDA, about 20 some odd pennies off day's highs, 133.72 is day's highs. But it's not just NVIDIA that's lifting up these markets. It is the microchips. Here, look at this. There's only four negative names. Pi doesn't count because it's kind of a microchip name. But you'll see most of everything in microchip semiconductor watch list is green. Chief among them, Micron. I was just looking over to the Katina man. He told you about what Micron has been doing. A good quadruple upgrade, triple upgrade today for Micron from Bank of America. We had Wedbush. I think Stifle threw in a comment there as well. ARM also up 5% with a decent amount of volume. So we'll keep our eye. Today, I think it behooves us to keep our eye on the microchips because they are doing things. I want to show you quickly here before we go on and see what Adara's been looking at. I want to show you some of the small gap gappers that I've had my eye on. Obviously, we're going to keep GameStop and AMC on so long as these memes are continuing to be in focus, but there's other names as well. LRHC, big boy mover on the day, 120% in the clear, about 15 pennies off day's high right now. 250 seems to be the resistance area that we're looking at. We're printing 230s right now. VWAP a little bit above 2. We also have RELI. Let me get you the deets on this one. RELI, this one is $6.5 million market cap with a 7.8 million share float. It is sub $1, high a day 109. It looks like it was a failed break of $1 because it didn't spend all that much time there at all. Quick wham bam, thank you dollar, and then right back into 70 some odd pennies here. Let's see if this can hold VWAP. VWAP is at 79 pennies. RELI, good luck. There's a couple of other ones. MBIO, we'll get to that in a second. That's also trying to hold VWAP, but it did break and hold above $1. So that's good. Last but certainly not least, CMTL, a cool 70% in the clear today. This one, though, fading out just a bit. It just broke below the volume-weighted average price, so it's going to have to get back above there if I'm going to take it as a breakout traded error. So those are the small cap gappers we'll keep our eye on today.
Yeah, the theme of my very brief trading journey so far today has been I cannot get anything at levels I like. And that's not good. You got to keep going. Basically, NVIDIA, shout out to 1320 Wolf mentioning this range. Oh, I wanted this range. Sharif saw me sat down and I was like, NVIDIA, you're mine. I was already creepily talking to it, getting that started early today. But basically, I wanted that 133. I wanted to see decisive bounce again. By the time I get that bounce, I'm trying to get for like 133.10s. NVIDIA's like, Adara, ooh, no thank you. And I was like, okay, NVIDIA, I can respect you. If we keep bouncing off 30s, I'm okay-ish with getting long here, but okay-ish is not the same as confident. And so I don't want to take a trade just because I'm okay-ish with it. I want to keep looking at this a little bit longer. And it's typically, it's not because I'm scared of the trade. It's because if I don't have confidence, what am I doing with it? There were a couple trades yesterday on Tesla, that were like, I had a good day on Tesla yesterday and I gave up a lot of it because I was just taking trades to take trades, which is not the vibe. Speaking of which, I already did try a short on Tesla. I stand by this attempt, and honestly, had I not gotten wicked out here at 183.50s, I probably would have been fine because I wanted that 183 level, but it's all good. You got to keep going. I liked that we had a bit of rejection. It didn't end up lasting. You got to keep going and find the next trade. Where's the next trade, as Obi says?
All right, guys, the Katina Man is short. Meta, it broke 500. We know that 500 has been an important level for Meta since earnings. Yes, and it's heading down. Shout out to the Katina Man. Meta is on a full state of huadunk at the moment, looking the most bearish. Goggles and Amazon, Katina Man, are very bearish at the moment. They're very much near lows. Amazon just printed lows. Meta just printed lows. Softy ain't far, man. It printed lows a little bit earlier, about maybe 20 minutes ago or something. Likewise with Goggles, but they're both very much near the lows right now. Apple also just did a fake and break. So it broke up above the 20 and it got into that 215.75 and then wham, bam, thank you, Apple, all the way right back down into 215. It actually broke 215 at the moment. So we'll look at these and a bunch of other stocks after we are done the lesson du jour. So let's get started on that now. As the Katina Man prefaced on the morning show, we are doing level 2 all week on how to trade here. Today, specifically, we're going to talk about spotting support and resistance zones using level 2, not the charts. A bit of a different take here. So if you're into that kind of thing, hang out with us for the next 10-15 minutes. So let's go on it. Traders, welcome back. Yesterday, we explored the intricacies of the order book. Now, let's leverage that knowledge to identify dynamic support and resistance zones. We'll refer to them sometimes as SNR zones. All right, so moving beyond the static levels, right? So we know traditionally how support and resistance is drawn on a chart. You can have diagonal lines, you can have horizontal lines, but they're typically lines. Some way, somehow, okay? They're typically horizontal lines. Sometimes they can be diagonal lines on charts based on historical price action. However, the order book offers real-time insights into where these zones might be forming or where they're shifting to. And that's what we want to talk about today, right? Because that's kind of the whole thing. We see what was historically accurate on a chart where we know price rejected or price bounced off a certain level, but is that true immediately right now at this point? So that is where the level 2 comes into play and helps you identify that. So typical support and resistance, like I said, drawn like this on a chart, very much horizontal lines at peaks and at troughs. You can see that visually. Here, though, on the level 2 data, what you're going to do is you're going to look for numbers at certain prices to show you whether there is a big buyer at that level, whether there's a big seller at that level, and we'll talk about all the intricacies of how you can do that as we go on. So that's kind of how we look at it here. One is visually represented on a graph, the other on a table filled with numbers and gateways, okay? So the order book, depth as a lifeline. So you're looking for areas with significant order volume on either side of the book. So the first one, the high bid depth. This is support, right? So it'll be a cluster of bids at a specific price level, which is indicating buying pressure that can potentially hold the price from falling any further. This area becomes a potential support zone, and I'll show you what that looks like visually in a second. The high ask depth, though, is what we refer to as resistance, right? It's a concentration of asks at a price level, which is indicating selling pressure that can stall or reverse the price action. This area becomes a potential resistance zone. So here it is. Here's the first one. This is, you can see, just compare this. So you have $5.31 on the bid, and then look at the amount of size on all the different gateways. Juxtapose that to $5.32, which is the ask, and look at the size there. You could see there's clearly a buy imbalance versus the sell imbalance on there. So that is a very, clear indication of what that looks like. And then as you go down the price, so you go down from 531, 529, you encounter even more size, but you don't see that on the other side of the table. When you go higher up the price, you're not necessarily encountering that type of resistance. This would be a very bullish looking level 2, okay? That's one extreme. Here's the other extreme. This is where there's umpteen amount of resistance. Make the comparison here between the 2.03 cents on this side and the 2.06 cents on this side. There is just so much more size on the ask and at multiple levels than there is on the bid. And so that's kind of a visual representation of high bid depth and high ask depth. Okay? So the art of the order book whispers. I like how this is termed. So the order book shifts, right? A sudden increase in bids or asks, depending on whether you're going long or short, at a particular level can help sometimes foreshadow a support or resistance zones in the making or forming, so to speak. And I'll explain what that means in a second. And there's also order book vacuums. We kind of alluded to this a little bit yesterday, but get more nuanced with it today. A noticeable absence of orders at a specific price level can indicate potential breakout zones. And here's what I mean by that. Let's just go back to this chart over here. So look at all the buyers stacked on the bid, even though they're below the current price. And there's no equivalent sellers on the other side of that table. So if you have a break through $5.32, whatever this name was, the assumption here is that these bids are going to move up the table. So if this one for 6,300 shares was sitting at 529, well, guess what? If the price moves up to 539, that 6,300 share buyer may move up as well. He may move up to 535, 536. So what you're looking for here is, on the other side of the table, an absence of sell orders that could really propel the price forward. And the same thing goes for the short side as well. The absence of buy orders on the left side of the table with the plethora of sell orders on the right side can really push this aggressively down. So that's what I mean by when I say order book vacuums. A noticeable absence of orders at a price level can indicate a potential breakout zone. If it's below a current support level, there might be buyers waiting to step in. Conversely, a vacuum above resistance suggests less resistance for a potential price surge. And as we always say with almost everything in technical analysis, confirmation is key. And I really can't stress that enough. While order book provides valuable clues, it is not by any means a crystal ball. Here's how to add weight to your analysis. First and foremost, look for price action confirmation. Kind of just goes without saying. Look for the price to actually touch the levels that you've identified on the level 2. Kind of a no-brainer there. But you can also employ the use of technical indicators. You can use indicators like moving averages or relative strength index to gauge the overall price momentum and potential trend reversals around these zones. And you should be incorporating some dynamic adaptations to your level 2 analysis. You should be specifically looking at order book fluctuations. What do I mean by that? So remember, the order book is absolutely fluid, and if you traded intraday, you know how volatile and fleeting it can be. Levels can change rapidly. Be prepared, absolutely, to adjust your bias for what you believe is support and resistance based on the real-time order book movements. So you got to be fluid with it. And news catalyst impact. News can dramatically alter support and resistance. For example, if a catalyst gets released midday and you've ID'd, like, say, I don't know, I'm just giving you a random number, $210 on Apple, well, that 210 means bupkis if that news headline is talking about like a $30 billion revenue increase a year. You see what I'm saying? So what? That support resistance level is there. It's going to get blown through. It's fundamentally changed the fundamental picture. Fundamentally changed the fundamental picture. I could have done a little bit better there. And last but not least here, this is a bit of an advanced tip, and I got to tell you, I'm just kind of wetting my beak in terms of using this indicator. But time-weighted average price. You always hear us talk about volume-weighted average price, but there's something called time-weighted average price, TWAP, right? These are basically sophisticated type orders that aim to buy or sell a certain amount of stock at an average price, a certain amount of stock at an average price over a specified time frame. Typically, they're used by large institutional orders. And so what you're doing there is it's a lot easier said than done. You're trying to identify these TWAP orders on the level 2 to see, is there a big institutional buyer buying? We know for a fact that Apple has a $150 billion buyback program. We know for a fact that there's likely to be a lot of institutional buying into Apple going in to this super cycle sort of thing. So if that is going to be the case and big money is going to position into these stocks, it behooves us to kind of figure out when they're doing that. Again, a lot easier said than done to ride their coattails, Adair.
Yeah, you definitely, I think that's a really good point. I also like TWAP. I like that. That's different. But as someone who's been trying to read the book a bit more, you can even just see like in the movement and the levels, how things are working, how the sentiment's going. And so with that in mind, I want to talk about some of these NVIDIA trades. So I was talking to 1320 Wolf, shout out to you again here in the chat, and I was like, I was in this long here, 133.30s. It looked nice at the time being, and I was like, I said I'm not really sure here what I'm seeing in the book. So I was trying to get out, did not get out soon enough, unfortunately. Did lose about 20 pennies on this. It's fine. I was trying to get out 133.20s, wasn't able to. It's all good. Then though, and I'm actually going to add to this because this was the plan. I wanted to see some resistance. But so basically, this NVIDIA long I got off VWAP, and then now this attempt to go short. I got long off VWAP. This is purely a book scalp. Why did I get long off VWAP? Because not just because it was VWAP, it's because we had this little tail here earlier. I said, let's see what we do at 132.70 or 132.70s. What we did at 132.70s, I watched it a couple times, we bounced. Only took like a scintilla of shares. I should have taken more shares, but it was really just, it was less about the P&L and more about just the practice, the progress and the learning. I wanted to see what happened. As long as we stay decisively below 133.30s here, that was a huge area of support. That flips to resistance. I will continue taking this down, 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 down. Hey.
Wow.
But yeah, obviously arguably got involved a little bit too early. But I noticed we slowed a little bit at 133, which is why I started adding there. 133.15 was also a bit of a slowing movement, which is why I added. We're going to have to wait and see how this goes. We are rejecting 133.30s. I have no interest in adding for the time being. Probably not at all. But yeah, as long as we stay decisively below 133.30s, I will stay in this trade. You cannot make money unless you risk money. That's the huge thing to tell yourself. Right now I'm down in the day, but I am always ready to find some new opportunities. Let's go NVIDIA. Yeah,
the breakdown is coming in, like obviously not NVIDIA because NVIDIA's got an uptick right now, but the breakdown is coming in, it's coming fast, it's coming furious on the Mag 7. There are a couple of names that are spared. So Tesla definitely was not spared earlier in the day, though. Now the winds of change look like they may be coming for Tesla, but we are still south of the volume-weighted average price, and we are awfully close to it. On my chart, it's hanging out at that 184 quarter dollar. We just took 184 right now. We're dancing about 20 pennies south of VWAP. So I'm very interested to see whether Tesla can kind of signal the winds of change and reverse and go to the high side. To get green on the day, it's going to have to make its way up to that $0.50 level at 187. 187.50 is the make or break, or not the make or break, the break even point on the day on Tesla. So I'm keeping my eye here on VWAP. If we get a red candle, reject this, and possibly another 5-minute candle to make a newer low, I'm going short. TSLA. Apple is tanking, and I gotta tell you, I am not surprised one bit. In fact, I'm kind of happy. I'd like for this to come back to 200 so I can buy more. The idea here is there's going to be big offloading of this name as one of the biggest, ETFs, tech ETFs, looks to reposition or not reposition, but reweight. That's the word I'm looking for. It's exchange traded fund there, and it's going to have to offload a lot of Apple shares, and it looks like that is what's happening on the day. Apple, $5 off the high, 218.63, 213.44 right now. LOD on AAPL. This is one of the only times you're going to hear me cheer this sell-off on Apple, but hey, there's a time and place for everything. Goggles is at an interesting support level here, and here's what I say that for. The IB low is a skosh above where we printed. The IB low takes us to 175.57, and the low of day is 52. Mind you, we just printed that low of day, so I'm not going to be super quick to be like, oh, I'm buying the IB low. No, I want to see, I need proof, as my friend Neil, who is nursing some injuries today apparently, likes to say, getting it on the back end, let it prove to you that it's going to print a couple of green candles there before you punch long. Shout out to Big Kyle Burdett. Big Kyle, I just got that picture of you with the thumbs up on my gram, so we're going to show that in a second. But Big Kyle says, SPY at an interesting spot. The wick bottom of yesterday's end of day sell-off. Can we continue down? Big Kyle, let's load up that one for him and have a look at what he's looking at. He's looking at the SPY, so let's do that. We're not going to load up the ES. We're going to load up the SPY.
Big smile, Burdett.
Big smile. Oh my God. All right, so what do you say there? We're at the wick bottom of yesterday's end of day sell-off. So yesterday's that's what I see there, right there. So that's a 4 p.m. print. And the low of that area, Big Kyle, is 546.59. So let's go ahead and put a horizontal there at 546.59. Thereabouts, yep. We're not quite there. We're there on a closing basis. So I see what you're saying. So the wick, we're still not there, but on a closing basis, we are. And guess what, Big Kyle? On this 15, that is the 50. That red line that it held up there, that is the 50. And up goes the SPY off that 54673 LOD. And 547 gets reclaimed. Still lower highs, lower lows. Not, going to start saying, oh, we're recovering this, that, and the other. But keeping an eye on that, keeping an eye on Tesla at VWAP, and keeping an eye on Google at low of day.
Yeah, that Apple there, Apple, Sharif, how crazy would you have to be to at some point call Apple the dead one? Like who's doing that?
Who does that?
Who would ever be doing? No, we did that for a spell for about half a year. But to be fair, Apple at that point was not making those intraday moves. Like we all, Sharif, I have no issue with Apple. I have a very old iPhone. Sharif, I know, is a huge fan of Apple. It has been involved in that name. So it's like we were just talking about his intraday moves. But Apple, giving up the ghost on being the dead one, let's put it that way. Also, I want to talk about my NVIDIA short because I feel like, we should address the fact that I'm short NVIDIA. Talked about this the last time I was here. I just want to address as well. I had a bit of a fat finger moment, lost a little bit, but then I added back in actually at a better price. The only reason I added back in is because that was the amount of shares I wanted to have in the first place, right? So I just wanted to undo my fat finger, added the exact same amount that I accidentally sold and actually got it at a better price. What's the plan for this NVIDIA? You may ask. Maybe you didn't. I will tell you. So my plan for NVIDIA, what I saw was we're talking about level 2. I've been really trying to work on level 2 in my book scalping. As of late, that's been really what I've been trying to train because I feel like that's where I feel I have a skosh of an edge, not a massive edge, like a little tiny sliver of an edge, So that's what I wanted to do. It worked out for this long here off VWAP. That was definitely worked out. It was really just a practice, being confident in what you see in the tape and the book. The reason I got into the short, which I initially started at 133, though that piece has been almost entirely shaved off by now through the fat finger, was because I was seeing a little bit of a slowdown. I said, as long as we continue rejecting 133.30, I'll stay in. Look what we continue rejecting, 133.30. I'm going to stay in this. I don't love seeing a little bit of a bounce around this 133.15, which is basically where I got in the position. So not a great, or at least on an average, so not a great look here. Going to keep an eye on that. But NVDA might be my NVD Bay if this continues to work in a way that I like. Speaking of bays, let's take a look at Boeing, BA here, because I was looking at Boeing, 175. Highly doubt that level is still kind of in. Oh, okay, Boeing, not a bad look. I like that 175 because we had a bit of a bear flag here, swoop to the downside. I was not able to catch it. It did move without me. I couldn't catch that flight, missed my flight, unfortunately. This one took off like titanium, or fake titanium without me. But we'll have to see what we do here. We're trying to bounce off the 90 EMA. I just wanted to look at Boeing because Boeing certainly is, as Neil said, it'd be nice to just not hear about Boeing. Like one day, just hear nothing about Boeing. Yeah. That has not been the case for many moons. Also, I want to shout out Big Kyle or Big Spy Burdett. The SPY I've also been watching here around 547. Once I extricate myself for NVIDIA, and it looks like I should be doing that now, I think the SPY, I will have my eye on said SPY. How are you doing?
I want to shout out Dan the Man Emmons, futures trader extraordinaire. He's an individual that has been with the show for many years, active participant in the chat, and trades futures a hell of a lot. If you've heard IB high and low on the show, it is because of Dan Emmons. So shout out Dan. Thanks for coming back. We love having you around. And yeah, don't be a stranger, my man. We always want to see you around here. You add a lot to the show and your information is invaluable. No question about that. Shout out Dan the Man Emmons. I'm short the Cybertruck at here moment. I'm already printing. I just took a little beak weather there at 80s. I'm seeing some doji candles here coming in at VWAP. So we'll take the old college try on this short over here. Line in the sand is going to be 184.14 as an out. I already de-risked a little bit here, so we'll see what we get, and we will not get upset. Shout out to Neil. Hope he feels a lot better very quickly. So we'll keep watching that. Go down, Tesla. Here it comes. I could cover here, but I don't want to. Let's see if we can eke out a little bit more. Go down. I'm going to sit at the 50s. I'm going to sit in high 50s, and we'll see if we can eke out a little bit there. What's going on with this thing? How come it's not adjusting my order automatically?
How dare it?
I know, right? A little bit bizarre, but that's okay. We'll figure it out.
Quel bizarre.
So we shall kill bizarre. All right, I'm going to put my cover at 59s and see if we get, here comes 67s, 63s, 62s. Come on, 59s. Let's go, bro. And there it is, Adara. We get that print.
Are you an MTV in the mid-1990s, Sharif? What was that voice?
I don't know, man. I'm just getting excited over here.
No, I like it. I'm happy for you. I'm really pleased as punch. Good, yeah, awesome.
Yeah, it's all good. I know. I got a little excited there, but I should calm down. The whole point is why I got in here. We were south of VWAP. It was down and to the right all day. We get into the volume weighted average price. We start doing these topping tail candles, Katina, man. And then the second after the candle after that, it makes a new low. It's red. So that was the whole thing there. I mean, it wasn't really, there's nothing super special about this trade. We'll take it and we'll get out. So we're done. The other thing here is I'm watching NVDA because this thing is an absolute monster. And 133.50, I will not be convinced otherwise, is a line in the sand. It doesn't matter that these two broke it. It broke for very, very brief amount of time. There is a bit of tug of war happening here between buyers and sellers at 133.50 and essentially 133. Sure, you've got wicks that go below that. Sure, you've got wicks that go above that. But the majority of the prints are ensconced within that 50 penny range. So we're going to have to figure out how to weasel a trade on this one because obviously it is doing fangs on the day there.
It is. Yeah, I mean, I wish I was doing things in like any kind of good way today. I want to show to Sharif. That was an awesome trade there on Tesla. I am looking for, a trade that will have me be so excited I yell Sharif. So that's what my goal is for today. Looking for a trade that will give me that. Yeah, I think really the issue is, and I say this a lot, I need to trust myself more. I think I have a decent read on the book, but I don't trust the read on the book as much as I arguably should. NVIDIA, in the long, I was like, I don't know how I feel about this. Then why didn't I get out the second I felt that? When I was in the short, I was like, ooh, we're holding 133.15, an interesting level. So get out there, Adara. Get out Adara. I don't know. I'm just basically talking out loud because I think sometimes one of the benefits of this show is you're able to really process your thoughts out loud, right? And be like, hey, that's why that didn't work.
100%.
And try to hold yourself more accountable. So that's the vibe in NVIDIA. Ironically, the best trade I had today, and this was a book scalp, was the one I took so few shares with and stayed in for 2 seconds. So just trust yourself more, Adara. And I say that to everybody. We all have to trust ourselves because if you don't try to build your intuition, then you just kind of, your intuition isn't going to build. You have to flex those muscles. Oh, what a funny little image there. Let's look at that.
When you're done.
Oh yeah, sorry, I didn't know. Yeah, so the reason I shorted NVIDIA, and I still, we had a bit of some attempts to get below this 133. I liked what I saw in the book. It didn't end up working out. I do stand by the attempt. I just don't stand by my refusal to exit for reasons I cannot articulate. That's never a good time. You know what I do think would be a good time, though, is this AMD short. My timing has just not been very good in it. Same with IWM. I wanted to go 201, and then I was like, well, and then I didn't, and I missed it. So I just need to be way more on the ball about the names I want to trade. Let's hopefully keep it coming, and hopefully I won't be giving the market a thumbs down.
So he sent me a message. He's like, Big Kyle's like, that wasn't a thumbs up. Big Kyle. I mean, I don't know. I thought he would have liked my Tesla trade because it's short, and the perma bear himself would have liked that. So shout out to Big Kyle. He's on the road. He's doing things. Man's always hard at work. And I got to love that blue, right? We already talked about that. Azure. But look how aggressive Tesla is coming down now. So it looks like we covered way too early here. Adara on the way into 183 goes. TSLA does have a bit of a, not even, I don't want to call it a double bottom. This is a 1 minute chart, so it doesn't mean a whole lot. But we did get some initial support after breaking it. Breaking 183 initially. We did hold up right over here, right at the start of the show, 1104, 1105. We held up at that 183 area after popping into 183.60 and came back down. But it looks as if, you know, this was a short VWAP area right now on TSLA. What, Ram?
Vote.
Oh, yeah. And if you guys, you know, if you want to see what the Katina man did this morning, if you want to see what Obe did this morning, if you want to talk about Adara's trades or mine, get into the chat right now and have your say every day on the afternoon rundown. You got to vote in order to do that. So the way to do it is to get into the chat, you hit that exclamation point, you type in the word join, and then you hit the space bar. And then there's a $sign. You hit ship4 for that. And then type in the ticker of your choice, whether it's Apple, Tesla, Microsoft, whatever it is, have your say. Even if it's one of these small cap gappers, and let me tell you, there's plenty. Let's show them, Ram. I mean, there's LRHC, there's RELI, CMTL, and MBIO, all names I had never heard of until today, and I probably won't hear for another year until tomorrow, but they are active today. And if you want to know how the big kahunas look at these kind of names, vote for them in the chat. Just make sure to use the right code there.
Yeah, I love also that, you know, guys, Sharif's just not giving you trades here. He's not just giving you green screen action. He's not just giving you a mustache. He's telling you how to use the keys on the keyboard, okay? So shout out to Sharif. I really enjoy that quirk that you have when you say that by saying like shift, whatever, shift something. But yeah, right now I'm shifting to trying to go long. I have said this before. I would not call myself a perma bear. I don't think I've been trading long enough to kind of get that moniker. But I feel a lot more comfortable shorting, and I also feel like I have a better read on shorts than I do on longs. Then you might be asking, Adara, what is this long here? Like, make it make sense. So I'll try my best. I liked the long because initially I wanted to go short here off that 547.10 rejection. I like that look. And the reason I didn't was because I wasn't able to get involved. Then I said, hey, we did make a lower low. We just got to 546.90s on a wicking basis. Now we have not one, but two bottoming tail candles. I said, you know what, Adara? Try to take this long. So I did. I'm going to get out of it here. I already took out two-thirds of the position. It's just not the vibe anymore. Just got out of it. Flat for part of the position, positive for part of the position. Displeased as punch to say this is my only positive name of the day, but you know what? That means we're starting somewhere. That means all we can do is keep going higher. Sofa Master saying, remember when Adara only went long? I think Sofa Master's putting it kind of kindly. I think the better way of putting it is, remember when Adara was scared to go short and almost had a panic attack on Halloween when Adara almost, accidentally got short on Tesla.
I remember that.
So yeah, good times. And then both Sean and Obi were like, well, Adara, it's the same thing, just go short. So now I love going short. Shout out to that. Kyle Burdett, 199 super chat. Join Spile, Adara, LOL. Shout out to you, big Kyle Burdett, and thank you very much for your 199 super chat. Also, nice little super chat. Thank you very much to Donnie Zimbabwe, 999 super chat.
Oh, Dan the man. I need a Donnie and Dan futures trading PI print off and let's powwow and collab. Highest PL. Okay. Highest PL in the trade. Shaves the mustache. I can't agree to that.
Yeah, I don't like those terms, guys.
No, can't do it. Can't do it. The stash has got to stay on for the summer. It's going to be, it's going to be on for the summer. Shout out to Donnie Zimbabwe. Obviously, one of the most active guys there in chat. Shout out to Big Donnie. Always doing the absolute most. Guys, in a good way. I want to point out something here. I was talking about this 175.50 double bottom-ish on goggles. And let me tell you, I think I'm done looking long here. Because every time I end up looking for retracement to the north side on a down day, I end up having one of my worst days. So I'm looking to short the pops here. And this Google trade kind of confirmed that mentality. Why do I say that? Because, well, it held up at that level that we talked about, generally, that zone. But look, no continuity. It breaks through the 10 period. And so I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, all right, well, it took out a key technical resistance level, and it's going to maybe make its way into VWAP, right? It broke the 10 period on a nice move. No, it doesn't. And then it ends up bamboozling you, and it makes, another low. So I'm looking short the pops on some of these Mag 7 names. Obviously, I'm not including NVIDIA in that calculation. I think if you're going to trade NVIDIA, you should be trading it as a range until it shows you that it's going to break out, right? 133.50 to the high side, 133 to the downside. But now, back to goggles. I'm going to be looking to short here. I just want a better entry. Perhaps maybe something in and around that 176 area did just make it up there, and then it had this doji candle form, and then we're getting a bit of a red candle form now on this 5-minute candle. Apple, same business. The only thing is, it didn't break the 10 period. It broke it over here, and it gave you that same business. You broke it, and it broke the 20 period too. So if you were going long, you absolutely got bamboozled there on AAPL, and it, on this occasion, more recently, right at 11:30, makes another pop into the 10, and then another candle right back down again. So I'm looking to short the pops on some of these names, and what looks to be coiling up right now after breaking 500 is META. Just where do I get short here on Meta? Well, the 20 period's hanging out at 501.50. VWAP looks awfully good, and the reason it looks awfully good is it conflates with the consolidation area low. This is the IB low over here. Or is this one? Yeah, this is the IB low because it's within 1 hour of the open. The low there takes us into 502.50. And where's VWAP? 502.46. So if Meta makes it into that level, I will be shorting. I'm going to put a notification at 502.10. to let me know that it's approaching VWAP, it's approaching that 502.50 consolidation area low. Meta back into 501 territory after breaking 500 aggressively down to 498.11. Nice recovery there, but I just don't believe in the long on the NQ today, and so I'll be looking to go short if it comes into VWAP. That's META, and you're seeing all sorts of rejections off technical levels right now on Softy. You're seeing it on Apple. You saw it on Tesla on that short that I took, and you're seeing it on goggles on the 10. Whoa, NVIDIA just broke up.
Yeah, I mean, I'm pleased as punch. I'm out of it, and I want to clarify, you know, and I talk about this a lot because I think it's one thing I've really had to get honest with myself about with trading, because I know there'll be, you know, sometimes like, and I'll say this to myself, it's like, why didn't you hold it? Because I know I make bad decisions when I hold trades for too long. I know I do. I will paper hand into oblivion. I remember at one side a Microsoft trade, it was like 50 cents in the money. I lost money on that trade. That should not be happening. That's what happens. That's all, in all honesty, what happens when I hold. So not trying to yell, just getting very enthusiastic. No, I'm going to say, Sharif, because I had this trade I needed. So P&L wise, this is kind of a blip. I'm still down in NVIDIA, but you need sometimes those trades again for your confidence, for your confidence. To feel good, for your Obi-Wan-fidence, I don't know, to feel good about stuff that you want to take. I took this because I saw something I liked on the book. I saw we were holding that 133.40 beautifully. I risked 15 pennies. I said, if we break below 133.30, bye, bye, bye. We're not going to be in sync anymore. But you know what, NVIDIA and I were in sync. We got to 133.35. We bounced right back up. Right now it's curling into 134s. I said I got part of it out just ahead of that 133.60 break. Then I said, we'll see how we feel on the book. Right now, it's pushing above 134. I have to congratulate anybody who held this name. I'm not having any FOMO here because, you know, I didn't miss out. I took some profit, and now I got to find the next trade. Daniel Emmons, thank you so much for this $5 super chat. Daniel Edmonds, sorry, all-time high should mean profit taking. How much higher till the bag holding starts? The government is turning this into a casino, not us. Yeah, I mean, it's hard to know, right? Like, you know, I don't want to sit here and call tops. Like, we're not financial advice. We just look at these charts, and it's really hard to say. I mean, I think as long as there's some exuberance here for some of these names, who knows when it'll stop, right? So I think it's really difficult to say where the top is in and when the bag holding begins. I would just say, you know, always make sure whatever position you're in that you risk manage accordingly, be that day trade, be that in the longer term. That's my take on that. But thank you very much for your super chat. Also, congratulations to anyone still long in NVIDIA. That thing that's a win video. Sean, long NVIDIA still? Oh, he just punched more.
The Katina man just added more. What a surprise.
Oh, yeah, he said that in the chat, punch more NVIDIA. So I guess he's pleased as punched more. How are you doing?
Good. I want to talk about Chewy, guys. Chewy is a rocket ship today. Okay, I'm looking for an alert here. What do I see? I see nothing. No, there's nothing here. Did you see anything on Chewy?
I didn't see anything.
Okay, I don't have anything, guys, but Chewy is up 13.1%, and it is printing days high right now as we speak. This is the 1-minute chart on CHWY, which trades on the New York. Here's the 5-minute look. As you can see, extended off the 5 here extended off the 10 exponential on the 5. I would be looking possibly for a dip trade at 25.50 to come back and to hold previously resistance, now support. It's what it did over here. Look what it did. So when it broke, it came right back down. Lo and behold, 24.75, the previous area of resistance on that initial push, holds. So if we clear here, maybe touch 26, I'm going to be waiting at 25.50. Maybe second time isn't a charm. We'll see. But I'm not punching in at highs. You know how I roll. That's not what I do. So let's go into CHWY and switch to New York. And I'm going to sit at 25.55 for that ad. Let's go right there. We already put the order. We're going to front run it a little bit. But this is one hell of a chart, especially with no catalyst. What's the volume on this? 10.5 million shares. It's not a joke. This ain't a joke. It's at highs right now. It keeps moving up. There's good amount of volume supporting this move. It's just whether or not it lets me in on a test of the previous resistance level. Yep. Manuel Palma, did you have anything to say?
I just said, yeah, I like that. Sorry.
Okay. ORCL, Manuel Palma wants to look at another one that seems to be at day's high. ORCL Oracle, killing it on the day. Let's pull up the deets on this one, see what percentage up and volume. 1.95, essentially 2% in the clear. Volume 3.7 million, not a bad look. Any headlines? Here it is. Oracle shares are trading higher after Argus Research maintained a buy rating and raised the price target a cool $14 from $145 to $159. There you go. That's the reason why ORCL moving up. A hell of a hold here at VWAP. Say again? And the Katina man is yelling about NVIDIA, and it just printed new day's highs, 134, 29 at day's highs as we speak, squeezing, likely because of the what's it called? The reweighting of the XLK. Again, NVIDIA now going to be 20 some odd % of that ETF. Apple, which is now currently 20 some odd %, is going to go down to about 4 and change. That's going to force, I believe it's Spider, to sell a lot of their shares for Apple and buy back NVIDIA. We'll have to see if there's other people willing to buy those shares at exactly the same price so we don't have such a big huaduk. Anyway, back to Chewy. Chewy just broke 26. Big move here. I think this is a heavily shorted name because this looks like a squeeze.
I only saw 4%.
No, 13.79. Yeah, did you look at it at
yeah.
That's probably why. Well, who knows which one is right and which one is wrong. Good call. IC on Trade Idea, shout out to the NOS boss and his crew. 13.79% of CHWY is shorted. That could cause a squeeze. And if you flip to the 5-minute chart here on Chewy, and I want to show you guys real quick, it looks like one hell of a squeeze so far. This is the 5-minute look right now. Just this one major pullback over here, squeezing through 26 Adara.
Yeah, I mean, there's so much happening in this market. So I want to shout out Day Trader Cut for putting some comments from Fed's call in here in the chat. Woo. It is, someone is happy right in that bull there to the upside.
Man, he's a long NVIDIA.
Yeah, nice look there for NVDA. Hey. But yeah, Day Trader Cut saying, sharing some comments from Fed's Collins. It's too soon to say if inflation is retreating again and that inflation is still stubbornly above the 2% target. I mean, Tesla, if you want to get a bit more of a move to the downside on that, I love that. I am short Tesla again. You might be like, Darren, you just talked about how you like to de-risk. Why are you still in this position? The plan for this was a little bit different because I liked that level at NVIDIA. I liked what I saw in the book, but I didn't have as many technicals on the chart for it. This Tesla level, I tried to short this earlier today. This is a level I'm obsessed with. I have obsessla. You know what I mean with this Tesla. So I decided, Darren, you need to support Tesla paid again. We're below the 90 MA once, twice, thrice. Continuing to duck lower. We did have these bottom wicking candles, so I was cognizant of that, but I saw stuff on the book that did give me enough confidence and confluence in addition to the fact that we're below the 90 MA and at this previous level to try to go short here. I'm not adding any more to this position. I have a really small amount of shares left. I want us to get a little bit lower below this 183 area. Don't know if we will. 183 seems to be the base. If that's the case, fine, I'll get out here. But yeah, please just punch. Thank you, Tesla, for letting me ride in the Cybertruck. You're welcome, Madura. I don't know what it's saying. But that was lots of fun there. But I must bid it adieu for now. Maybe we'll go E-long later on if I see some support for him at this 183. But for now, that was a planned scalp. And I have to say, I am pleased as punch. Positive now on Tesla. Still slightly negative on the day, but you know what? There's more day where that came from. Sean's saying he's out of half of NVIDIA. Oh, sorry, short Meta, $500.65. But out half as it won't break lower. NVIDIA is a monster.
I just like how he called it the monster. That's my favorite thing about that whole thing, right? And the Katina. Give it to me. Well, let me read it to everybody. Trade idea number 1, NVDA 132.50L, market rocking here. And now XLK needs to be reweighted long. Well said, Katina Man. Shout out to the Katina Man, absolutely killing it on that. As you can see, is this all-time highs on NVIDIA? This is all-time highs right now as we speak, guys, on the monster NVIDIA. Recall that we were just at $120 a week and change ago when we split. Remember, we were at 1,200, then we did that 10-to-1. Well, we're about $14 and change higher than that now. So great, great look for the king, for the monster, NVDA. All right, I'm long goggles here, and I already wet my beak here on a nice little winner. This was a hammer candle hold at pivots, and I already scalped like a 15-penny winner off it. I'm just going to hold to see if I can extract any more money out of this one, but it's going to be scalping longs today because unless you're NVIDIA, I just don't think that it's a good long at all. And I feel like I'm going to be proven right about that right now as goggles comes right back down again. So I think I'm just going to get out here. I already took what I wanted from this, and I don't really see this going up all that much more. Maybe I can move up my stop. That's exactly what I'm going to do. I'm just going to move it up to the mid-40s, 175. We're going to sit at 45s because 44 is the unlucky number. 175, and we're going to sit at 42. There we go. So we'll see if that one stops us out, and then we'll get out of that. What else is going on here? Man, unreal, man, NVIDIA right now. All sorts of FOMO, looking at this thing move up and up and up, but I can't get in here in good conscience and be able to manage risk. What else is moving? Apple right back in the 10 period here, and I'm thinking about shorting because Apple's been rejecting off the 10 period on the 5 umpteen amount of times, and if that's the case, then I want to get in on some of the action. Look at this. I mean, there's only been one candle over here that broke the 10, and it was a topping tail candle, rejected quite quickly. So Apple right back into that 214.25, and that is where the 10 period is on the 5. So I'm going to go short here, Dare.
Yeah, I tried to go short in Tesla again. I do stand by it. I saw that we had we were struggling again with 83.30s. I said, Dare, take a really small position. I did. We got above 35s. I got out. I am not short Tesla, guys. Just so you know, I'm not short Tesla. That was I was in that trade. That was my level. I did get out. I was like, am I still in here? No, I've extracted myself. We broke above 30s. I got out of there. So I get if you see stuff you like, you owe it to yourself to try it. Flat on Tesla right now. But you know what's never flat is my optimism and my positivity. I'm down on the day. I'm ready to make some more trades. Jay Lee saying there's short NVDL at 84.25. The top, small size, but let's take some profits, people. Yeah. The top of NVIDIA short, 84. I mean, hey, you know what, Jay Lee? You are like 25 pennies in the money right now, so shout out to you. We do have a bit of a topping tail candle here in NVDL. Let's see how its big sister NVIDIA is comparing. A little bit here at NVDA as well. This is not NVIDIA, much like I want to echo what Sharif said, unless there's some stuff that I feel like can play here, I'm not going to get involved. Obviously, the way I trade this will probably be more different. I'm going to look for some rangier action, but someone's saying yes to Apple, so I'm guessing that gave you a nice little bite of profits there.
Just took it. Adara, just like that. Touch the 10 period. It drops again. I'm only lamenting not having added more size. If I had the conviction, why didn't I just add more size? Literally top wick at that 10 period touch, and we just took 30 pennies as quickly as you like that. I mean, I love it. I love when I don't get angry when I'm trading. No, the point is, right? Like, I kept trying on Friday to get long on the break of moving averages, and the market kept telling me short, and I don't know why. I was just insistent on going long. Today I said, well, this week I said, look, if the market is down on the day, stop trying to fight it. There are going to be these, take a breath days, so to speak. And now I'm just upset because I got out of Apple too quickly as it breaks 214 again. What a topping tail candle that is, eh? It got up into 36s, and now we're down into 89s. Great quick move on 1 5-minute candle here on AAPL. Nice rejection off the 10. We'll look to wet our beak again. But now I'm seeing a bit of a different change here. TSLA right back into the 20 period again. Now look, last time we got into that 20 period, we had topping tail candles, which precipitated in a bit of a down move, and that's where I got short. But now, this time, we have some higher lows. And if this breaks and holds on a closing basis, not a quick basis, and there it is. So now closed above the 20. Now let's see if we can start curling here above VWAP. I don't know. It's such a negative day that I'm trying to rein myself in every time I see a long. Literally, that's what I'm trying to do. So we'll see here. I don't know if it's VWAP that's acting as the resistance level, as opposed to maybe that 184 level, that whole dollar level is also right there. So we'll see what we get on TSLA. Big green candle though off that bottom. All right, so that's that one. What else we got? The Katina man is still short META. You're still short. He's still short Meta, and I happen to love that short. Here we go. Look at it's breaking down again, down into 499.5. It did another one that did a 10-period retracement and tank, and that's a beautiful rounded top because then you get lower highs and then lower lows on a closing basis. Nice, Katina man. Nice trade there, brother. Down it goes again. META. I had a different trade on Meta. I wanted a VWAP retracement. The market didn't give a you-know-what about what I wanted, and it sent it down earlier, much earlier than that. 501 was the top there. I was looking for 502.25. So I had the wrong idea there.
Yeah, NVIDIA, I've just been staring at the book in NVIDIA mesmerized, like a little like fish looking out of the fishbowl, like what's going on out here, people? Also, guys, I'm not short Tesla, just so you know. I'm not short Tesla. I was short Tesla. Yeah. I lost less than 20 pennies on it. It was a very well-managed trade. I was still short Tesla right now. That would be a bit of a yikes moment because Tesla is currently, I would be like almost $1 out of the money. So I just want to clarify, I am no longer short Tesla. I have not been short Tesla for a few moons here. I like that bounce though on Tesla off that 183.50. So could be an area, but right now I don't have really a huge read on it. I want to talk about NVIDIA though, because NVIDIA is holding 134.40 on the book so well that I am like, and as I say that, it breaks down a little bit. Okay, NVIDIA, I shouldn't have spoken so soon. NVIDIA, my whole thesis for this was going to be if it keeps holding this 134.40 on the book, I think it's a long. Looks like it's trying to prove that. If it was breaking below where I was going to say, we have kind of this bleed to the downside. The thing, though, that's stopping me from going long here is because for a while, before we had that 134.40 hold, we had a 134.50 hold. So what I'm seeing are slightly lower highs on the book. I'm sure NVIDIA will prove me wrong. This is not financial advice, just my look at the book and the chart and the tape here. But NVIDIA kind of struggling right now with breaking above that 134.60 with the viciousness. Now, that doesn't mean we can't break above it. We saw NVIDIA 1200, right? NVIDIA's got that power. It's got that juice. It's got that hustle. But right now, I do think NVIDIA, there's some kind of war happening around this 134.40 to 134.60 area, and I want to be involved, but I'm not appropriately equipped right now. I don't have all of my suits, I don't have all of my ammo, I don't have all of my armor, so I could not step into battle with this NVDA. That being said, there is something here. I just don't feel confident enough in either way to get involved. Right now, though, I think that short case could get spicy. Let's see what we do at 134. If we bounce at 134, I may try to scalp this. Emphasis on May. Also, SPY, getting kind of spicy here. Putting the SPY in spicy. Let's take a look at this. This is not on the AF, it is on the AM. Let's take a look at the S&P 500 right now. Yeah, this is S&P Fly 100, more like, look at how we bounced off that 547. I'm proud of myself for seeing the long here. Obviously didn't stay in it super long. Definitely was a bit more of a scalp play. But yeah, we have these continued moves higher. These are great 5-minute candles. And then we're not able to make another higher low. Bouncing a little bit off VWAP. There could be some scalp opportunities on this VWAP bounce here that I should be cognizant of. But as Sharif says, and I think it's pretty fair, it's a little bit harder to chart the futures based on, on these charts. Sometimes levels will be interesting, but generally it is going to be kind of more of what are you seeing in the key levels you're seeing. Right now, though, in the book, I'm seeing a little bit of chop and turn here, 547.60. This could be a bit of a scalp here on that VWAP bounce, but I would rather get it 545, 547.50. Sorry, I feel like I'm chasing a little bit to get involved at this level because the way I trade SPY, you do want to, at least for myself, I want to be taking much smaller positions, so I don't really want to wait to have it go against me too much. I want to see this NEE as well, Next Era Energy. Shout out to Kyle Burdett mentioning this one. This was one actually, I know Sharif was saying that Kyle mentioned it to him, but I also put it on the watch list because it was one I had my eye on. This one had quite the little sell-off with strong volume. Next Era Energy, yeah, this, oof.
Jeez. Oh, she pushed back her chair.
So we had a bit of a bull flag here. Yeah, this is the first pushback of the day, Sharif. Yeah, we joke when I push back the chair, it's a level I really like, or I see something that really excites me. But what excites me here is look at the 70 area. Look at the top of that flag, and look where we're bouncing.
Cheese.
Okay, next era energy. Yeah, step aside sock, Sal. You're getting socked out of my side chart. I think NEE, if it holds that 70 area, that could be a look for me. Volume on this is not bad at all. Cool, 15 plus million shares, so not a bad look. Next era, yeah, you might be my next trade potentially. How are you doing?
Yeah, this NEE thing, that was interesting because did you put this on the watch list?
I did.
You did, yeah,
I did.
and that's why I remember seeing them like, what the hell's going on with this one? 2 billion equity unit sales. So you saw what it's done today, down 3.17%. This is a big company, guys, about $143 billion market cap. It ain't no joke. So a bit of a tougher look for it today. Shout out to Big Cal. He says, I opened swing puts at 70.20. Shout out, you're already in the money, Big Cal, because we're breaking 70 right now. So shout out to you. Guys, everything is tanking. Everything really except NVIDIA over here. Here we go again. Softy's the only one that really hasn't started. It's tanking, its latest tanking process, but it's doing a topping tail candle, wick shimmy into the 20. So I'm interested in the short here on MSFT. It's already had a tough day. It's down 0.5 point, no question about that, but it just broke the 10, and now it's doing the wick shimmy at the 20. So I'd like to sit somewhere around maybe 443 1/3 if I can get it. Should do it rather than talk about it. Let's take off Apple here and pull up MSFT, and let's put in at the 1/3 of a buck. So the break here, okay, so I want to say something. I was going to say the break of 50 cents and I'm going to get out. But now, having looked at it a little bit more, yeah, I'm getting in. Yeah, this is exactly what I want. So we're going to go short at 33s. Let's see if we can get that print. Frugality might get me in trouble again here because it may go down without me, but maybe it pops up first. So if that's the case, here comes 31. I'm seeing 31 on the ask, waiting for the fill at 33, not forthcoming at the moment. 33's on the ask now. There we go. Now we get the fill. So now we're going to put 44655 as our out, 44665. And we'll put that line in the sand there. So come what may. And we're going to put our first beak wetter. Let's see if we can get it. No, we didn't get it yet, Adair. Oh.
I like the...
Thank you, thank you. Well, hopefully we'll get something. Maybe you're foreshadowing something here. Who knows?
Maybe.
So putting the beak wetter there. Let's see if that triggers there. Otherwise, we're going to stop out on the break of $0.50. Oh, and that one was quite aggressive because it just popped up into $0.50. Let's see if this one can continue showing 41s here. So we're 9 pennies out of the money on this name at the moment. So we're going to have to see if Softy continues to head higher or it heads down, which is what it's kind of doing right now. So we'll pack our patience there. Amazon, though, the winds of change may be coming on this one because we got the Amazonian next to us over here up into 182 1/3, and this breaks the 10 decisively here, but key area of technical resistance, the IB low at 950. Printed at 182.32. We're at 182.35. The 20 period's hanging out there as well. Do we reject off this level on AMZN? We're going to have to watch because this is a very interesting area. You got the 20, you got the IB low. It's not exactly pumping up off this level, so we'll see what we get, and we will not get upset. All right, let's... just off of prior day low as well. And the Amazonian himself has just communicated to me that it's just off, the prior day low as well. So are you talking about 181.43, 181 and a half? 181.22 is the prior day low. 20 pennies off of that. And it's 20 pennies off of that. Thank you very much for that, Obi. The Ob, the one, the Kenob, always communicating to me, his levels. So shout out to him. Yeah. Eh?
I was just going to make a joke about that.
What are you looking at, Adara?
Yeah, we shout out to Obi. They're called the jungle. Obi's puns today, I want to shout out, the pun game today because it's been on fire.
It is.
That joke about, mean reversion. Sometimes the reversion can be mean. Had me laughing out loud. I just want to shout out those puns because we know that, that type of stuff I appreciate. So shout out there. Also, AMD, I'd love to shout you out, but you'd have to be behaving first right now. You're not. You might be like, Adara, why are you shorting AMD, little bit potentially of a rounded bottom or flat bottom here. So yeah, the reason I shorted, I was aware of that when I got involved. If we break above 144.50, I'm outie. I'm getting out of Dodge, and it looks like AMD's like, okay, then leave, because it's trying to push me out here. But no, what I liked about this was we had these continued rejections of 154.40. Someone in the chat earlier was saying 154.40 could be a decent area of support for AMD. I think it was for a little bit, but then I noticed it flipped to resistance. Now, things can always flip back, you know. The markets are not static. They're often not stagnant. They like to, you know, mess you around like a little tennis ball, and you're just Serena Williams trying to keep up, although you're not, because Serena Williams is like, you know, a master, and you're just a little trader over here, but I digress. The point I'm trying to make is the markets like to throw you for a loop, so you have to just trade the way that you feel you're comfortable trading. I felt comfortable taking that short. We were below the 90 MA. Now we're riding a little bit higher, so can we get much higher? I think AMD is probably going to say, oh yes, so high, hey, and I will be screaming. So we're going to be getting out here. It's all good. It happened. AMD, just, you know, let me out. Muchas gracias. Appreciate that. But yeah, the look here, like I said, you try things, you have to have confidence in them. There was a while where we actually were dipping a little bit lower, so I was okay with that. It was always going to be a range. I wasn't going to take it any lower than 154, and AMD said, how low can I go? No, I'm going to continue upwards. That's fine. If we bounce again off 154.40, I'm perfectly comfortable taking it long. You got to go. You know, the winds of change, as Sharif always talks about, are always happening in these markets, and you have to be cognizant of that. Oh, yeah. Happy I got it where I did, because now NVIDIA's like, you know, AMD would be way against me. So got to do what you got to do. SPY took 12 pennies on this. SPY, I don't know why this is my top name of the day, but I'm pleased as punch that it is. Ready to keep going, keep climbing. NVIDIA, I see you chopping and turning around days highs. Watch out. Don't know what I'm going to do yet, but I will have eyes on it. But yeah, SPY, like I said, I was waiting for my view up bounce, got my view up bounce, took 12 pennies, pleased as punch. But how are you feeling with your Microsoft? Yeah,
we got stopped out, got right back in though. And so I'm going to see if this one, because it wicked up, then it tanked right back down again. So I was really unsure if I just got specialized breakout. If I get stopped out again, that is going to be it. So we'll put 446. There we go. And then put 446 like that. And how many shares did I take there? Oh, yeah. Okay. Well, buy. Why isn't it adjusting for my stuff today? That's interesting. So, yeah, we're in it still, but I don't know. I have mixed feelings about this level. It did breach the 20, but yeah, it did on a closing basis as well. But there is price action resistance at this level. I'm just thinking out loud. These bottoms over here at 1030, at this 446.5, bottoming tail candles there, which means people were buying there. Now is there still the same buyer? We're short 44s, it's printing 42, so really nothing to talk about at the moment there. But if it breaks up again above 60, that's going to be the end of there. Trader CL, look at Nike, fill at 95, target 100, CELH, fill at 58, target 80. I'll look at Nike for you. We'll look at that one.
They report next week.
They do, eh?
Next Thursday, yeah.
Okay.
Let's see if they run away with some profits.
I know. Well, they did better last time, didn't they?
Well, yeah, remember? But they still went down because the China sales were.
Oh, that's right. That's right. Yes, you're right. That was a report day. You can see that outsized volume day. That was March 22nd. So, okay, that's going to be interesting. Where were we on March 22nd day before we tanked? 100. So I think that's what you're talking about, Trader CL. You're talking about that gap fill right there. But lately, we did get into that $98 area. That was back on the 7th of this month, but we broke right down below it. You know what? It's a bit of a bamboozler because it rejected off the 50 over here. It tried to break the 50 on earnings, and then you saw what happened. And then it just took the 50 again and then zigzagged through it. So I'm hesitant to use the 50 at these levels. And I just got stopped out of Microsoft again. So that's the end of the trade on that one. I'm not going to try to take Microsoft short at these levels. I think I have the wrong read on it. So instead of just getting upset about it, I'm just going to leave it alone with respect to the short at the 20 and at VWAP. But to build on the Nike point over here, let's just bring that back super quick. Let's see what we got on the 4-hour. Oops, I think I deleted the 4-hour. There we go. All right, the 4-hour right now. So the first level of resistance I'm going to say we're going to get into is going to be that 96. That 96 to 96 and a quarter. That takes us all the way back into mid to late April. And then, obviously, it's this $98 area. I love the 98, and I think that that was actually a great holdup at that level because that takes us to the trough back in March, right at that $97, $98 level. So good flip between support and resistance there. Look, man, you know, it's a bit of a gamble, obviously, getting into earnings before the earnings date. You just don't know how it's going to go. You can try to gauge the market to see, you know, retail spending, you know, consumer discretionary, clothing, do all your research and try to cross your T's and dot your I's. But at the end of the day, if there's something within the company that you don't have notice of, you can't account for it. So, yeah, I don't know. Foot Locker did well on earnings last time, and they credited Nike, not blamed. They credited Nike. Over here, you see Foot Locker reported back on May 30th, and they said their relationship with Nike was improving, this, that, and the other. But since basically getting up into $30, almost $30 on that earnings pop, it sold off, and we're basically trying to hold the 200 on the 4-hour. It looks like here. So I don't know. I don't know how to answer that, man. It's so hard to find out exactly how someone's going to do on earnings, especially as something as dynamic as Nike, which is all consumer. It's really all about the consumer at that level, not business. So, man, Microsoft is headed up here, and looks like some of these names are recovering. So Softy recovering. Tesla's at VWAP. Obviously, I don't have to tell you about NVIDIA. Really, the only ones that haven't recovered are Meta and Apple. Meta and Apple still at the dead zones right now, but everything else, really, and Goggles a little bit. Yeah, those three really not recovering. Tesla, Amazon, and Google recovering a little bit better right there.
I've noticed Apple's flip from you calling it the dead one because it's not doing anything on the day to you calling it the dead one because you want to lull it and lure it to the downside so you can add more. I've noticed, you know, Sharif, I not to be an armchair psychologist, literal armchair psychologist, but, you know, I noticed that, you know. I just want to put that out there. I see the change in the tides.
Look, Adira.
Sharif?
I like Apple, and I want the most amount of shares at the best possible price. So whatever gets me to that. You know what I mean?
No, that makes sense. I saw that, and I was like, Also, NVIDIA has me saying, NVIDIA, don't do this to me, girl. So why am I involved in NVIDIA? 130, I am in NVIDIA again because I notice, again, for me, it's really going to be based on what I see in the book. I have to trust that more. The way NVIDIA is holding this 134.40, which is a level I mentioned earlier, on the book has been, in a word, like, it's been gorgeous. It's been beautiful. I saw that again. I said, I want all the smoke. You know, this is really the vibe I want. So I got involved 134.45, 46 initially, then I added at 51 because they were holding that well. But NVIDIA, if you're going to do this like little thing where you start making slightly lower highs on like a cent basis on the book, I'm not going to be too pleased. I have to tell you, I will be displeased as punch. If we break decisively below 30s, like buy NVIDIA. But really, if I see anything in the book I really dislike, I will sell in a heartbeat. I will get out. I have enough right now for 3 peak waters. That being said, if I continue to see stuff hold up, I will add to the position. Right now, though, I'm seeing some stuff in the book that is kind of making me want to panic sell. We're not going to panic yet. I would just like to de-risk some of this position. If we can get out some at 56, which was what I want here, that'd be a 10-penny winner. And like I said, I'm a scalper. I'll take whatever profit I can get here. This was kind of the plan for the trade. I just need to see NVIDIA not do what it's doing right now, which is really struggling with these 50 levels. Things could get a little bit dicey here. Not spicy, just a little bit dicey. SPY continuing to push higher. Q's having a nice upward move. So NVIDIA, you know, join your friends here. Join Microsoft. Join Amazon. And give me that express delivery of profit. Please, thanks. NVDA. Sincerely, Adira. What are other people looking at? Don't sleep, people. Let's make money, says Paco. Yeah, I mean, I agree with that. We can't, as someone who sleeps a lot, you don't want to sleep on those profits. That is for darn sure. AMD, I'm seeing a lot of different comments in AMD. Someone saying it was overvalued. West, y'all saying AMD is going to have its moment. And the TTMPE multiple will come down when the new chip sales start rolling into earnings. Yeah, let's take a look at AMD again. Because this was a tale, instead of a tale of two cities, it was a tale of two chippies for me. I was like NVDA, AMD. I wanted the AMD bounce that actually we might get now, 154.55. When we didn't get that, I said, Adira, you like the NVIDIA look too. Switch over to that. So that's what I did. But AMD curling up here on the 9 EMA. Tried the short, didn't work out. Looks like there could be a little bit of a rounded bottom here. Shout out to our Friday lesson. NVIDIA, do something, thanks. Also, Ahmed Amwala, AED Super Chat. Actually just saw that now. First trade of the day, AMD long. Which is crazy because this is, you know, I literally just looked at that and I was like, oh, this looks like a nice long.
No way.
Yeah, and I didn't even notice that Super Chat. So shout out to Ahmed Amwala and shout out to a lot of chatter right now about AMD in the chat. NVIDIA, how are you doing, Kay? As long as you stay above 30s, I'll stay in, but things might be getting a little bit dicey here. I might have to get out. How are you doing?
I'm keeping my eye still on Microsoft and Amazon, because they're both doing VWAP retracements into this level. So if we get a break, great. I mean, we'll take it long. I was ready for the short bias today, but if they're both going to break, absolutely fantastic. But I'm going to stay agnostic at these levels because this is kind of like the line in the sand, so to speak, to see if they can continue to head up or whether or not, this is going to be as good as it gets for the day. I don't want to overstay my welcome on Softy. I'm already 0 for 2 on it on the day as a result of the shorts. So I want to pack my patience to see, does it take it or does it break it? And, I don't mind giving up a better entry on this in order to get it right. So rather than just trying to guess, it's going to reject off 447.5, I'd rather wait for a red candle to form at VWAP, and then, I could work my way in with a worse price, obviously. So I'd keep my eye on that, and I'm just unsure what to do at the level. So obviously I'm going to have to wait for this candle to close, and the candle's got about 5 minutes left to just open at the moment. It looks like it might be headed right back up into 447.5. If we get a close above VWAP, I'm likely going to take this long here. I don't want to get bamboozled, but we shall see. What else are we doing? We haven't looked at some of these small cap gappers in a while, so let's look at that. Wow, I can't take my eyes off Microsoft. Yeah, let's load up small cap gappers. Have a look at this. LRCH. Okay, so back above VWAP. This one did break below the volume weighted average price, but held the 10 exponential on the 5 quite well. Or was it a dalliance with the 2? It looks like it was a dalliance with the $2 area because it was doing these bottoming tail candles right into 2, showing you that buyers were buying it up there. Incrementally higher highs and higher lows now. Look for that 275 breakout, ultimately $3 though. The level MBIO, a little bit above VWAP, a little bit below. This one doesn't have my name on it at all. I would have been stopped out 100 times on this name. This is not one that I would want to trade. Too much range per candle, too much disrespect for some of these moving averages. I can't trade that. I'm going to leave that one alone. What else we got over here? RELI, kind of the same thing here. No real respect for these lines, but more respect it would look like for price action, resistance, and support. And the reason I say that is because it keep bottoming out at an area that we had resistance on earlier on that initial push up at 830. So that was looked like the pre-market high. So yeah, not too much happening there on some of these Mag 7 names, small cap gappers. Meta still heading down. Amazon just rejected VWAP in the way that I was hoping MSFT would, but I'm getting a bit of a topping tail candle right now on MSFT. I'm going to pack my patience with that one. Tesla also at VWAP and not breaking it with any vigor as well. So those are the two that I'm looking at. I didn't pull the trigger on Amazon, sadly. Can't do it on all of them, but keeping my eye on those 3 there.
Yeah, I know I opened myself up to ridicule by getting out of my NVIDIA long but going short, but I had so much confidence in it. First, I got out of the long. I got out of the long because, like I said, if I saw anything in the book that gave me the heebie-jeebies, I was going to listen to that because I need to trust myself more in the book. I feel like I have a decent read on the book, not all the time, but sometimes that I don't trust it enough, and that's where I run into issues. But I said to Dara, you do not like what you're seeing here on the book, so just get out. And I wasn't initially going to flip short, but then when I noticed we were having a little bit of a struggle bus with that 134.40s in terms of making higher highs. Like we hadn't seen a 134.50 print on the book in many moons. So I said to Dara, you owe it to yourself to go short. I was comfortable adding to the position at 134.42s. We didn't get that. I just got out at 134.20, so not a huge position, about 15 pennies. I was going to risk it to 134.50, so about 13 pennies risk, 15 pennies reward. That's something I can live with. If you keep rejecting off the 9 EMA, I will get back in. Sorry for the rush speed. I'm just really happy I trusted myself because I know shorting NVIDIA in your high of days was not the popular opinion, but you're not here to be, you're here to make trades for yourself. And that was a trade that I really stood by, so I'm proud of it. NVIDIA, let's see what you do at 134, but any trade I have on you will be a scalp. So I think trusting yourself is really key. It's just what's
going on there, Katina Man? The Katina Man is still short Meta at 501. He's like $100 in the money right now. Shout out to him. I didn't mean to interrupt you there, Derek.
Okay, yeah, you haven't interrupted me here, but I do want to say, Bears versus Bulls saying a quote that I think is immortal. We need more takers, or the hosts are going to have to talk about the stash. Well, no one wants to talk about the stash, do they? So if you want to hear Sean and Obi talk about their takers of choice, the Sean-fidence, the Obi-Wan-fidence, whatever, how you do that is you go right now in the chat. You go !join, space, $, Microsoft Microsoft, Meta, NVIDIA, Amazon, AMD, a small cap, IWM, SPY, MBIO, NEE, NKE. I don't know. You guys know tickers.
You know
Put
it.
them in the chat right now. Exclamation point, join space, $, your ticker of choice. Shout out to Bears versus Bulls, who's been great about making sure everyone is being helped on their process of submission. So
absolutely.
Great look. We have some super chats, though, that I want to talk about. Fugazi Bear, thank you so much for the $1.99 super chat. PGR, cash my calls, $, $, $, $. Love the show. Exclamation point, exclamation point. Yeah, Progressive has been certainly progressing to the upside as of late. Great look for PGR. Let's take a look at this ticker. Shout out again to Fugazi Bear. Oh, okay, yeah. I mean, even on the 5-minute, I'm like, okay, let's take a look at the daily chart there. You reloaded Meta? NVIDIA. Sean reloaded NVIDIA there.
I like that.
Yeah, it's a really good look there. Okay, this is a range of my dreams. If this wasn't a daily chart, like look at this progressive chart, Sharif. This is the range of my dreams.
Whoa.
Shout out to you, Fugazi Bear. You had a really clear 202, almost 203 level of support, and sounds like you took something around here, so not sure where you got in, but congrats on cashing out your calls. Thank you, Donnie Zimbabwe. 2 super chats here. One says message retracted. It's $1.99 super chat. Thank you very much. Donnie Zimbabwe, another $9.99 super chat. I think this is directed to you. There's a mustache mention, so I'm going to give that one to you.
Where am I looking? Donnie Zimbabwe, long Apple at 213 or 212.50, maybe if it holds support.
Oh, there's another one higher. It's the yellow one.
My bad.
That
Okay.
mentions the stash.
Ooh, there we go. Joke friend. I rock 80 stash, and it's here to stay. I'm back with the triple Qs the past 20 minutes with strike at 445. I don't even know where the triple Qs are. Let's find out. Strike at 445. Okay. What? How is that possible when the Qs are 484? I'm back with the Qs in the past 20 minutes with strike 445. Outside of options, I'm thinking of a swing if Apple will find support at 213. See, that's a trick, though. I don't know where the bottom is going to be on Apple, and I don't care what it shows as support and resistance. We know a big ETF is going to offload a whole bunch of these shares and pack on NVIDIA. So that's like what we were saying this morning with respect to the lesson and the news catalyst, and it absolutely having, wreaking havoc on support and resistance on the book. It just won't matter at those levels. They'll have to be redrawn. So hard to say where Apple finds the bottom. Personally, I hope it finds the bottom at 200 so that I could add more. That's a bit of wishful thinking. We'll see if it ends up coming in. Hard to tell, though, Donnie. Write me, though, back your strike on the Qs, because I'm having trouble understanding. There's no way you think we're going to go to 445 from 484, right? Like, maybe you typed in that wrong. Let me know. I wet my beak right now on a nice 15-penny winner on MSFT. I took this one long. For the break up, we've got some out there at 69s from 55s. We'll see if this one can hold above VWAP. I have my suspicions with this VWAP break. So we'll see everything else kind of moving down and to the right, and Softy's going to pump up. Who does it think it is? NVIDIA? Like, you know what I mean? Like, it just can't do that. Only NVIDIA gets to that kind of title. Shout out to the Katina Man. I love your ad, brother. I think I'm going to go in there with you. I'm just going to end this Softy trade because it's taking too much of my attention. And we're going to go into NVDA and trade the one that's actually doing volume and direction on the day. A nice 10-period ad here. I like this Cantina Man ad. I'm long with him at 134 in the third. We'll see if we can ride this one a little bit up a dare.
Yeah, this is really awkward because I just got a short. But
I'm scalping. Yeah, whatever.
It's okay. Sorry, guys. I'm scalping a short.
Well, it looks like you're going to do better anyway.
Yeah, I already have something added here at 134.21s. That's where we're going to be getting a little bit of a piece for the dream out. If we break above 134.40s, I'm out. This was the plan for that. But yeah, shout out to that. I honestly think it could go either way. Also, based on how I'm trading this, I'm going to scalp it anyway, so there could be a way for me to make profit and everyone else to make profit as well. So shout out to everybody either way. It's not about the direction. It's not about, okay, we did get a little bit of a print there. But yeah, basically why I like this was because I was watching the book. This has been book week, level 2 week. So what I saw was we could not get above that 134.40s. I said, Adara, you owe it to yourself to try to take another kick of the can here, try to take another short. I kept half in. I might regret keeping half in, but I think we can get a little bit lower as long as we stay, again, below these 134.30s. I'm not adding any more here. I have no reason to, but I do want to keep the position I have in. If we get to that 134 NVIDIA, I will be getting out. So I just wanted to say that. Yeah, shout out to Sean. And to Sharif, though, yeah, it was just funny because I was like, look, as I was looking at it, I was like, oh, it looks like it could go higher. And everyone's like, oh, we're adding the long. And I was like, oof. But yeah, you have to, the point I'm trying to make is you have to have confidence in whatever your trade style is. I know my style is a bit scalpier. And so I know, I owed it to myself to take the trade that way. I think I may have almost definitely overstayed my welcome here, but we'll wait and see a couple pennies out of the money. I think the long could not be wrong, but like I said, not getting out until we get to that 134.40s.
Yeah, I see the 40s. There's good size there, Dara. I like that call out for you there. We'll see if that size hangs out. I want to also mention goggles. Big move down there, breaking through support level 1 at 175.50. Big move down there for goggles. It was really trying to hold that level. The gates of hell have arrived. Yeah, all the way down to 175. Look for the whole dollar level. It is 75 as well. So I'd be looking to see, do we get a bounce? We're going to find out real soon. 175.04 coming here for GOOGL. And what do we guess? We're going to have to pull that bad boy up. So let's do that right now. Let's go to the trading screen. We got Tesla on and load up Google. But I just got to put in my stop for NVIDIA. So can I just send it to you for a sec?
Yeah,
so
for sure.
Can put it in my...
Yeah, I added a little bit to NVIDIA. I know I said I wasn't necessarily going to, but I pretty small position. Still the same amount that I started with. I added a little bit at 134.33 because I still had that, or 32, sorry, because I still had that confidence, that confidence, whatever word you would like to use, that we weren't going to break above 40s for the time being. So I added a little piece here, trying to get out everything 134.17s. Not sure if I'll get those, but I was using the previous book level that we got to. If we make a higher low, that's fine. I'll get out. I can even get around here. Like I said, for me, it's really just about, I see this a lot. Time in the market is more important than timing the market. So I really just want to be able to take these opportunities, take these reps, get involved. NVIDIA, if you want to shake me out, that's fine. I'll get out 26s. I'm pleased as punch with that. We got out of this position. I think we are making higher lows. I think this long still looks like it is happening on NVIDIA. I have no more shorts on this, but happy to say I'm profitable in the shorts I did take. Still down in the day, still slightly down in NVIDIA, but man, this is just why you have to trust what you're seeing, right? And so hopefully you guys print there.
We'll find out.
I also am considering if we keep holding this 134.30, I have no problem flipping long. I just find I have a harder time trading longs for whatever reason. Also, Daniel Edmonds, thank you so much for the $5 super chat. Replacing 401k accounts with all-time high names means poor people going to get wiped if rug pull, question mark. That's a lot of a
okay, what's the question? Sorry.
I think it's I'm just going to read it again. Replacing 401k accounts with all-time high names means poor people are going to get wiped if the rug pulls. I think just always you want to be responsible, right, when you're trading.
Yeah.
And I think, we don't necessarily know that there will be a rug pull. It's hard to say right now. The market is going to do what it's going to do, right? And you don't want to call. You don't want to call tops or call bottoms.
No.
Just have to wait and see what happens. Also, that NVIDIA long is looking mighty fine. Shout out to you.
Oh, it is?
Yeah.
Oh. I was looking at goggles. I just got stopped at a goggles. I want back in because this 175 area here. Where are the goggles? No, I'm getting. Let me just make sure that I want to get back in here and I'm not acting stupid and impulsive because I'm seeing a bottoming tail candle, doji candle, 175. Okay, well, I'll pack my patience on that one a second. Go, NVIDIA, all right, I printed on that one. Look, and this is what Adara and I were yapping about the other day. She printed on it, I printed on it. There's just a way to do that. Sean and Neil do that all the time. I see Sean long, Neil short, and vice versa, and somehow they both weasel money out of it, and then I end up getting stopped out somehow. So it just works that way.
Yeah.
So we'll see how that works out. I'm going to leave that position in now. Back to goggles. I'm keeping my eye here on 175. Tesla also broke out, guys. Big breakout right now on TSLA through VWAP on the way to 185. I just saw that quick as you like while I was staring at goggles. And so goggles is still doing the dance with no pants, fighting right now. Between a fight between buyers and sellers at what said 175. I'm keeping my eye on this level because I want to see if this one definitely continues to make lower lows like it's doing right now and lower highs, or whether we can get something out of this one. Right now, my spidey sense is telling me that this one is going to continue to make lower lows until I can see some. Yeah, this one's continuing to go down. So new lows coming in here on GOOGL. Now, right back above 175 again. Somebody's buying this at 175, and I'm not surprised. Before we broke 175, there was a lot of size there that's gone now, though, and that's the thing. So we'll keep tabs on that, Adair.
Yeah, so NVIDIA's the bamboozler. We broke above 134.40. I tried a long. I got out. I lost like 8 pennies. It's fine. Slightly giving up some of those gains. But then I did get short again. You might be like, Adara, pourquoi? Why are you doing this? I got short again because I still don't have a reason for at least how I trade. I still see a little bit of confidence with the short. We got all the way down into 134 teens. We could be, again, curling higher. If we break above 40s, I'll leave. But it's just about having more confidence. And I feel like I tend to be more confident. I tend to, I think, trade more effectively when I'm taking these shorts. Also, looking at this chart, wow, there are way too many fills here on NVIDIA. But, I don't think maybe I'm getting a little bit married to the ticker. I don't know. But it's like if I'm seeing levels that make sense, if I'm still seeing stuff, I'd rather commit to a stock where I'm actually, seeing things that make sense than try to overwhelm myself by looking at too many things. You know what I mean? Like I want to shout out Sharif because Sharif is always looking at the Mag 7s and the small caps, and that's it. And so I think literally having a much more narrow focus can help make sure you're not missing anything you want to see in tickers you want to see. I still think NVIDIA could be a long here, but I'm taking the short because it still holds up to my parameters. We are still making these lower highs on a book basis. And again, it's more of a scalp. But I appreciate what you said. Like, you can print on both sides.
Yeah, it's
right.
Which is
what's so cool. I mean, yeah, it just happened here.
Yeah.
So that's what's cool about. And then on the opposite side, I tried to take the long and then didn't print on NVDA. But Sharif and Sean did, right? So it's just really interesting how different styles, different approaches are always going to get you different results. So that's why you have to trade true to yourself.
Big Kyle wrote something to you here. I think it's with respect to what we were talking about. Do you want me to read it out?
Yeah, sure.
Everyone who is using a 401k or other similar, vehicles needs to know they do have control. They need to be active and ask questions or log in and select their own choices. So many just don't know. Shout out to you, Big Kyle. Absolutely agree with you. Some 401ks, look, we don't have 401ks on this side of the border, but we have similar things. All right, so you can basically, in certain situations, go into your 401k provider, be like, I want high risk, I want medium risk, I want actively managed, I don't want actively managed, yada, yada, yada. You have those options. You just got to apprise yourself of those options. And not everybody will have the same options. Your employer might get you package A, mine's package B, this allows me this, yours allows you that. So just make sure you apprise yourself of all the deets. But yeah, thank you very much for that, Big Kyle Burdett. Well said there. You gotta, look, man, it's your money. If you're not gonna be interested in it, who's gonna be interested in it? Maybe the thief that wants to take your money. He's probably, Ram, and she's like, yo, you don't want your money? Mm-hmm. Send it over here, right? Well, I mean, she takes Ubers to work, right? So we know what kind of standard Ram is doing over there. Only Uber XL, Obi. Only Uber XL for Ram. And anytime she's offered a share option, she's like, nuh-uh.
Shout out to Ramin.
Yeah, shout out to Ram. Guys, I want to mention the Cybertruck because the Cybertruck
is going.
Yeah, it's okay. 185, Adara, I'm seeing as a possible line in the sand here on TSLA. It did take VWAP. It did take the 50 as well, not on a closing basis. 185 though, I don't know. Is that a level? Is that an important level here? Or it doesn't look like it was the last few days. So TSLA, it looks like it may be on the way to 185. But Adara is right. The monster NVIDIA back into that $0.50 size at the $0.50, guys. Big boy size at the $0.50 right there. Let's see if that one can get blown through. I'm not going to take anything out here. Let's let this go, man. It's been pamping all day. And if it continues to pamp, then, we want to wet our beak in it. But definitely at the $0.50, a lot of volume being exchanged here, or a lot of shares being exchanged here, and you can tell by the tape speed. So we'll see if this $0.50 can get broken. But seeing about a little over 4. Say that again, Obi. That's about 3,000 lots. Yeah, so that's exactly what I'm seeing as well. And there you go. You get that initial rejection. That's big boy size. We'll have to see if that can get eaten up on the monster NVDA up 2 2/3 a day. Yeah,
this is interesting. I've been I don't want to say obsessively watching the book on NVIDIA today, but I will because it's true. I've been obsessively watching the book on NVIDIA today. But it's been really helpful because it's really been showing me how these things are moving. That's why I got out of this initial long, which didn't look bad on the chart, but I was seeing in the book, we were seeing these lower highs. Initially, we get to 134.59, then we get to 134.56, and we were seeing these lower highs here in the book. What I'm seeing here, though, in NVIDIA, since we got to that 134 touch, is the opposite. I'm seeing higher highs and higher lows on the book. We just cannot break this 134.50. That being said, since we've had this next little attempt to push back into the $0.50, we haven't broken below 134.40 on a tape. Like I said, or in the book, sorry. 134.40 is the area I've been watching for NVIDIA because I think it's been a really nice, I would say it's less of a really clear level and more of a really good sense of where the sentiment is changing. But we popped above it, so shout out to you.
Yeah, let's see if we can go now. It could be a quick wham, bam, thank you, NVIDIA, and then right back down we go, which is look like what we're doing right now, Adair. So let's see how that tug of war resolves between buyers and sellers. The level got breached, but it's a topping tail candle right now, guys. So be careful, right? I mean, you just never really know how this is gonna all pan out. But you know, one thing is you have the trend on your side today. It's up 2 2/3. XLK going to be adding a zillion shares on this, so you know there's a bit of a tailwind. It's not like a small cap gapper that's around for a good time, not a long time. NVIDIA ain't going to be gone tomorrow. That's the thing. So even though you can get bamboozled, you know, I'm trying to draw parallels between a small cap and a large cap, and I don't think that's a good idea because NVIDIA is obviously a serious company. So let's see if we can continue to move up. Right now, definitely that $0.50 is a bit of a bamboozling area on this intraday time frame. So I'm going to pack my patience on it. Definitely don't want to take anything out a little bit too early here and then have it, you know, really move up again. What I'm looking at on the side chart is what it's doing relative to the 10 exponential. And I don't see any lower highs or low lows. I see a hold of the 10 exponential. And so long as I see that, I'm going to kind of, I don't want to say rest easy, but just not be as paranoid or however it's said. Do you remember that from Scarface?
No, I haven't seen Scarface.
No?
I have like a lot of gaps in my film knowledge. I know. I'm sorry.
No way. But usually you punch out your side, your weight class. So I'm like, I'm not trying to hold anything against you, Adair.
I need to watch Scarface. I need to watch Scarface. I need to watch the third Godfather movie. Like I will acknowledge I have some gaps. But yeah, no. It's been quite the day.
And it's just like Tony Montana, right? He's obviously, you know, newer to the country at that point. He's like, how'd you call it paranoid, right? Like that. So I just love how he does that, and it's always stuck in my head a little bit. So
awesome.
yeah, just keeping an eye here on the monster. Let's see, it's back to that $0.50 level, Ram. We'll see if this one breaks. Size, no, it didn't really refresh at that $0.50, that 134.50. Not the same kind of lottage that we had there last time. We were talking about almost 4,000 lots. Not the same kind of size this time around. Mark the Realtor, Tesla on the 5-minute chart looks great again. I'm also in NVIDIA. As for me, I like the stock. You and everybody else in the world, my man. No, I don't mean to belittle your analysis. Obviously, you are absolutely right to like it because this thing's got a tailwind and a half. So let's see how Tesla looks. My only concern, Mark, with Tesla was this thing I was talking about, this 185. Double top right there, 2 topping tail candles into that 185. Then we print a newer low on the subsequent 5-minute candle all the way down into that $0.33. Yeah, let's see. Look, if we can recover here and continue with these higher highs and higher lows, then this one candle means bupkis. But let's see if we continue to trend down. You know, I'm going to be looking short. I hope you don't get upset about me with that. But yeah, the Cybertruck is negative on the day, but 1 2/3 a day.
Yeah, it's been quite the day. I did briefly try to short NVIDIA again. I know sacre bleu, but I did it because we had that. I was watching 134.40. I said the second we break below, try to get out. The most I would have gotten was going to be about 4 pennies there. We did come back. The second we touched above the 134.50, I got out. So, you know, I think one of the biggest things I learned today, I'm down on the day, but I think the confidence is so important. I don't feel badly about any of these trades because I felt good about all of them. I don't mean like good, but I felt like there were levels and things I liked, and I stand by all of them, which I think is, I think that, you know, doesn't count for P&L, but it counts for something when it comes to learning. So you're not going to have an up day every single day, but if you can get up on that knowledge, I think that is also what matters. Thank you so much. Yeah, I get to Mark the Realtor. Shout out to 305. But you know what is happening in about an hour and a half is going to be Sharif and co. Sharif will be on the big screen, and Obi and Sean will be on their desks. And we're going to be doing, looking at some tickers.
We are.
But how do you get involved in that?
You got to do this, Adair. You got to vote. If you don't vote, you don't have a say, right? Get your say every day on the afternoon rundown. Get into the chat right now and vote for the ticker of your choice. If it's the monster NVDA you want to see, vote for NVIDIA. How about Tesla, the Cybertruck, double top off 185? Vote for it. How about Chewy? Chewy doing things, so is Chegg. CHGG?
CHGG?
CHGG. They were almost out of business, Katina, man, because of AI.
What's NVIDIA say?
Well, NVIDIA is almost at 134.80 again. We're long here with you, and it's topped into 134.60, but it's days low. You're absolutely printing on that.
498 print?
You got 498, my man. 497.68 LOD right now on META. Yeah, the Katina man is printing over there, and that's just a fact of life. Say that again?
Chilean Nightmare said I had to put more makeup on.
He said that to me too when I filmed
The
in that
Chilean
room.
Nightmare demanded that the Katina man put on more makeup for the podcast.
Honestly.
The
Says the
Chilean
same
Nightmare is quite demanding these days.
Well, we don't call him a
like it.
Chilean daydream, that's for sure.
Oh, there's the Katina man. Get that makeup
we
on,
are.
baby. Yeah, yes, sir. Yes, sir.
You can see sure smug.
Hey! Where's Ram Ram? There she is. Shout out to the crew, man. I love coming into work every day. That's just the way it is.
People.
Yeah. Fantastic look here, Adair. So we're gonna have to start the lesson of the day again. Yeah, so what I'm gonna do, Katina man, is I'm gonna put my order. I'm gonna move up my stop on NVIDIA. This is so funny. I can't believe what I'm hearing right now. I'm moving up my stop in NVIDIA so that I can start the lesson of the day, Ram. Let's go ahead and go like this, 134, and then we'll go 14s just to give this monster some room. All right, let's get to the lesson du jour. We are talking about level 2 all week, guys. Today, we're going to get a bit more nuanced with it and talk about how to spot support and resistance on the level 2, something we typically do on the chart, but not the only place we can do it. So, traders, welcome back. Yesterday, we explored the intricacies of the order book. Now, let's leverage that knowledge to identify dynamic, keyword here, dynamic support and resistance zones. Sometimes we'll refer to them as SNR zones. So moving beyond the static levels of the traditional charts. Traditionally, support and resistance are horizontal or diagonal lines drawn on charts based on historical price action. Keyword here, historical, history. However, the order book offers real-time insights into where these zones might be forming or might be shifting. So that's what we're talking about here, and that's what I kind of want to show you, right? So what you see here is your normal, typical, run-of-the-mill support and resistance lines drawn at these here levels. Support, resistance, and then we know how they flip, right? That's not how it's going to be reflected on the order book. On the order book, you're going to see things in the size column that's going to show you whether or not there's support and resistance right there. So for example, this 175.15 has a whole bunch of orders on it. So does that 10 level. You don't see that same size on the other side, right? So that's what we're looking for there. So the order book depth as a lifeline. So in this case, we're looking for areas with significant order volume on either side of the book. And I'm going to show you exactly what I mean in a second, but let me show you, let me just describe it first. So the high bid depth, which is support. So this is going to be a cluster of bids at a specific price level indicating buying pressure that can potentially hold the price from falling any further. This area becomes a potential support zone. Exactly the opposite of that is high ask depth, which is essentially resistance. A concentration of asks at a price level indicates selling pressure that can stall or reverse a price advance. So this area becomes a potential resistance zone. And so here's what I mean by that. Look at the size on this, whatever, I don't know what the stock is, and it doesn't really matter. But $5.31, you can see what kind of size we're sitting at there at 531. And then even below 531 in the 529s, there's equally large size. Now, moving to the other side of the table to look at how the ask is doing. There is not even close to the size on the 532 or 33 or 34. So essentially what you're seeing here is a bit of a chasm, a vacuum where there is really not the equivalent amount of resistance as there is for support, not the equivalent amount of selling as there is for buying. There is a buy imbalance at this level, okay? The opposite of that is where there's a sell imbalance, the high ask depth. Look at the size on the right side, which is the ask side. 770,000 shares at 2 pennies. That's on one gateway. The other gateway has 200,000, and that's at one price level. Compare that to the size seen on the bid. We're not even close. We're talking about the highest number here being 110,000. This side over here, the highest number is 267, with 100 being kind of like the lower end. So this is what we call a high ask depth. So the art of the order, let me just check where NVIDIA is real quick here.
It's at 134.50s.
It's really having trouble with 50, eh?
Yeah.
This 50 penny level is a serious, even though it's wicking above it, Adair, I mean, you can definitely see somebody offloading at the $0.50 here every time.
Yeah, and it's making lower lows on the book as well.
It is, eh?
Yeah, we got to 134.25s.
Oh, boy.
Last time we got to 36s.
It did, eh?
Yeah, so it got to 36s, then 25s.
I love how you noticed that.
Oh, yeah, I have not taken, I'm going to be honest, guys. I know I'm being very boring today. I've just been watching this book all morning.
Who cares if it's boring? As long as
I'm learning.
Yeah,
I'm learning
exactly.
so much. Yeah.
So shout out to Big Cal. Moving on. So the art of the order book whisper. So what are we talking about here? We're talking about order book shifts. What is that? A sudden increase in bids or a sudden increase in asks at a particular level can foreshadow a support or resistance zone in the making. So you're sitting there, you're trading NVIDIA at 134.45, and then all of a sudden you see a monster seller come in there at 134.55. Well, what the hell is this? Who is this guy? And why are there 10,000 lots all of a sudden there? So nothing you had planned for, but something that could precipitate more sellers looking to get in there because they know that such a big sell order, it's not going to likely be get pie. So they're going to be looking to kind of pile in with the size that's coming in. So all of a sudden there were 10,000 lots and now there's 20,000 lots because people saw that huge sell order there and they jumped in with it. So that's a problem. And so when you see that kind of thing, you're watching a resistance zone in the making. The same thing applies for support. No difference, okay? And then your order book vacuums. I kind of prefaced this one a little bit yesterday, but this is essentially a noticeable absence of orders at a price level. This can indicate to you a potential breakout zone. Where's NVIDIA? Okay, there we go.
Yeah, we pushed a little bit above there.
If it's below a current support level, there might be buyers waiting to step in. Conversely, of course, a vacuum above resistance suggests less resistance for a potential price surge. And so what I was talking to you about right over here was if, this size gets blown through, there's nothing really there to backstop the size from continuing to move up at this $5 and the third level. It's going to keep moving up till it encounters size. Now, we know that there could be icebergs, and we talked about that yesterday, but for the moment, we're not talking about iceberg orders, okay? Now, confirmation here, as we always talk about that, confirmation is key in all aspects of trading. While the order book provides valuable clues, it's definitely not a crystal ball by any means. Here's how to add weight to your analysis. Price action confirmation, obviously. You're looking for the price to actually touch or stall near the identified support and resistance zones that you've ID'd. Can you believe that? You want the actual price to get touched? I mean, this kind of goes without saying. I don't even know I'm saying it. Technical indicators also help you here as well. If you're going to use things like moving averages to gauge the trend and relative strength index, or MACD to gauge the momentum, those are two technical indicators that would work great here with the order book. And then dynamic adaptations is super important. When we talk about static support and resistance zones, we're talking about charts. When we talk about dynamic support and resistance, we're talking about the book. And that's why you need to be dynamic in how you adapt. So order book fluctuations, goes without saying, especially on the heavily traded names, they can be very fluid, very transient, very quick. So levels can change rapidly. Be prepared to adjust your support and resistance zones based on real-time order book movements. And then this is very important as well, the news catalyst impact, especially for these small cap gappers, right? Just because you see an area of support or an area of resistance on the book, it doesn't mean that it won't absolutely get blown through if a news catalyst comes in midday and changes the calculus. So be on the lookout for that. And some advanced tips here for you guys. The time-weighted average price, again, not an indicator I'm too familiar with, getting apprised with it just like you guys are. TWAP for short. These are sophisticated orders that aim to buy or sell a certain amount of stock at an average price over a specified time frame. So three variables here: certain amount of stock, average price, certain time frame. 3 variables typically used by hedge funds and larger institutions to pile in or get out of positions after the buying committees have made their decisions. You're looking for these large TWAP orders, a lot easier said than done, on the buy side near support or on the sell side near resistance. It suggests institutional interest potentially aligning with your identified support and resistance zones there.
Yeah, thank you so much for going over that. And I think one thing too is like these are real. Like you can see stuff like NVIDIA to again use the example of a book that I've been reading to death today. You can really see these support and resistance zones, just like even if you watch the movement, how things are holding or rejecting certain levels, right?
Right.
That can be really key. So I just think it's a really fun metric to learn. I appreciate that you say we're still learning too.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I think one of the best ways to learn is just get in it. Pick a stock to get married to, or not married to, but marry yourself to the book to. Because I'm by no means like married to trading it, but it's watching this book has taught me so much about how levels can change, how things can flip from support to resistance. So, you know, definitely.
I think the winds of change are coming on NVIDIA.
Oh, I already got short.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so too.
The winds of change are coming on NVIDIA.
Yeah.
I can feel that. The future's breaking down too. It's doing the wick shimmy for whatever reason at this level, and it looks like it's coming down. I ended my position here.
Yeah, so basically, I just added to the NVIDIA short. What I did, I got involved a little bit higher than I did last time. I started this position at 134.50. Initially, I was looking for that 134.40 rejection. Every time I saw that rejection, I would get involved. But the reason I got involved a little bit higher here is because, as Sharif said, the winds of change, right? We got, I think, as high as 134.70s. I was sort of dabbling in AMD, but I didn't have as much confidence in the position. We were kind of waffling around a little bit, and I kept looking at the NVIDIA book. Then I saw we had these lower highs in the book once again, and I said, Adara, try to take this again. So I got back involved in this short. I'm risking up into 134.60, so about 10 pennies from my initial point of entry, about 18 pennies from my averaged position, because I did add around that 134.35s because I did want, again, like, you know, these lower highs. I don't know if this will work out. You never know if trades are going to work out, but I do think we have, as Sharif said, the winds of change. I already scalped out part of this position, then added a little bit back in. So all good here. I just want to see, I think if we crack back below that 40s for whatever reason, 134.40s, you know, shout out to the lesson of the day here. That has been a weird sticking point here on the book. We are trying to curl back above it here. I'm noticing slightly higher lows here on the book. But if we get that another crack here below that 134.40s into this 134.30s, I'm actually going to have a beak wetter ready for 134.30s. So let's see if that ends up coming to fruition here. I have no reason to leave. Let's see if NVIDIA can get low, 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 low. Paulo saying short anything but NVIDIA. Yeah, that's fair. I mean, I know NVIDIA's kind of been on the upside, but I think as long as you have levels, and I have confidence in trading in a specific way, I have no qualms about shorting this because I like the levels. And honestly, I feel like the times I've tried to go long NVIDIA because it seems like, you know, a trade that makes sense, those are the times that I've gotten a bit chopped up. So right now, I stand by the short. Obviously, if we break above 60s, I'll be out. I have no qualms about leaving, but you have to take the trades that make the most sense to you. So that's what I was trying to do with this NVDA because I have been staring at it into oblivion. Also, if there's any charts you've been staring at that you want to have Sean and Obi go over, there's a way to do that. You can go in the chat right now. You have until 1:50, so you have almost an hour or just over an hour left to do this. Go in the chat right now, ! Join, space, $, whatever ticker you want to see. Amazon, Apple, NVIDIA, GME, AMC. We all know tickers. I'm going to stop listing them. But yeah, so whatever ticker you have had your eyes on, maybe you've been watching something like a hawk, like I have, NVIDIA, whatever you're looking at, what's great, we're a democratic system here at Trader TV Live, and we want to hear, you know, as Sharif said, if you need to make your voice count. You need to make your voice heard. So that's the best way to do that is going in our chat right now and just getting involved. I'm going to be, if we can get back to 134.35s, we'll get a little bit out more here of NVDA because I just want to do that little scalpy thing here. But yeah, I have been taking this short, and I think what I learned, and I wrote this in, it's not my sticky note, it's what I call my tickers to look at document, and I write little like messages, little areas I like. And one thing that I wrote here is, you know, you're trading for yourself, so you want to take trades and take profit at areas and for reasons that make sense for your style. And that was really the impetus for this NVIDIA trade.
I love it.
I know it looks a little bit funky perhaps, but I have been able to do okay here on the short. Down in the day, down in the name, but I've learned a lot just from sitting here and committing myself to my ideas. And I think sometimes the progress and learning can maybe even matter more than PNL to make it really
Did you see this?
fun.
This is a wow.
Meta?
Yeah.
Oh,
wow.
that's a inverse cup of handle.
Yeah. Okay, guys, from the high that we printed yesterday, which was 510.75, to the low that we just dropped right now, it's a 3% drop on Meta. Not bad. All right, guys, keep your eye on this area right here. I'm looking at possibly 496 to get defended. I know we broke it, 495, 33, LOD, META, but look at that IB low from yesterday, right at 935. The lowest of the candles there prints 496.01. If we print a bottoming tail hammer candle, which is obviously bullish individually, coupled with the area of technical support from yesterday's IB low, I'm punching long Meta. I know that's crazy because this thing's absolutely been shellacked on the day, and the Katina man's like $115.75 in the money on this name because he's short like up here at 500 or something. I'm kidding, obviously, about the $117. But if Meta holds up at this level over here, seeing that we didn't break it by all that much, we claim 496 and give me a hammer candle and some green candles after that, then I'm punching long. Now, I will be likely to cover everything ahead of this 498. I don't like this, area trough over here because I think it's, if we move back into it, it'll be a support area. So Meta, on the way back, it looks like this candle just opened up a little green. Let's see if it can reclaim 496. I'm not going to be quick to jump into this. I definitely need to see proof. You don't jump into a long. You don't jump into a quick long when the stock you're looking at just printed 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 5-minute red candles in a row. I don't just think that's a bad idea. And look at the volume. Guys, the volume is picking up. It's like the same type of volume we had at the open. What is going on here with the selling? Aggressive selling on META midday here. Did not expect that at all. It's 10-1, and we're getting this kind of aggressive selling. So we'll keep eyes on Meta. Definitely interested in the mean reversion. We all exposed Obi yesterday going short 218, and it was an absolutely accurate trade.
It was a great trade, yeah.
He does that. He has that mean.
I was just laughing because we exposed him.
Yeah, of course. We do it because we're fun around here, right? We like to expose the Ob, the one, the Canoe. But yeah, he had something. He obviously, I think, it retraced $3 off the high, right?
Yeah, it was a good look.
Yeah, it was a fantastic look. So if Meta does that kind of similar thing where we retrace to the high side, I want all the smoke. But I need to see proof. Right now, I'm not seeing the proof, so we're not jumping in. What else is going on here? Definitely still near the low of day on Apple. So we did get a breach now twice here of the 10 period. Both of them have rejected off the 20. So it has been a very straight system today for Apple. The deep retracements go into the 20. The shallow retracements, as you can see here, come off the 10. But the winds of change, look, they may be coming because that's 3 breaches now in the last 4 5-minute candles of the 10 exponential. We'll have to see if the 20 exponential can get breached. Not yet.
Yeah, so I got out of the NVIDIA short because we broke above 134.60s. Really proud of the risk management here. Everything went according to plan. NVIDIA, then again, was like, Adara, I'm just going to keep tempting you because I'm going to keep having difficulties with these levels. Right now, though, it's pushing above 134.75. I want to clarify, I think one thing, too, that is so huge with trading is as long as the idea makes sense to you, and it's a little bit different when you're in the show because you have to articulate why you're getting involved in things, right? But as long as you have a thesis, you have a plan, you have risk management, I don't think there's anything wrong with going after your dreams, or in this case, trades. If you have stuff that makes sense, if you have stuff you like, I think that's really important. And that's why I love when you say, like, call me crazy. It's like, no one should call you crazy. It's your idea. It's your idea you like. So I will not call you crazy for Meta, Sharif. I think you explained it really well. You articulated it really well. I just think it's a huge part of, you have to trade your own book and do your own thing. And we talk about confidence, but I think the heart of confidence, the hallmark music here, is that it's the levels Sean likes and feels passionate about.
Oh, yeah.
And that, I call it confidence just because, it's a pun. But as long as you have stuff you care about, as long as you have levels you like for whatever reason, I think that's what should matter.
Agree.
The true meaning of Christmas. Also, Kyle Burdett, $2 super chat. Meta last earnings anchor is at 495.50 on watch. Oh, that could be a spicy little look there. Whew. So apparently Tesla about to go.
It really is?
Tesla are below the 90 MA and we're below VWAP, but we're also kind of scuttling around near that 184 level. I'm going to be honest, I would not go long Tesla here, but I am a little bit short biased, so take that how you will. We are, though, below the 9 EMA, and we're below VU up. I would think if we were going to bounce, I would have rather see it 184. We're about 15 pennies below 184 now. If we can recover at that 184, then I think that's a nice look. But I would like to see us go below 184. Right now, we're skirting a little bit lower.
I'm trying to get in. I knew that's what it was going to do. I knew this is what it was going to do. And I can't get in because it's so spready. Oh, I know it is.
Not to like make light of your plight, but it is spreada.
Yes, I can't get in. I'm trying to get in. Look at that touch off 495, and now it's $1.40 higher. I told you something smelt like. Oh God, I don't want to chase this. I hate that. All right, let's see how I can weasel my way in here. Maybe sit at $0.25. Let's try to get $0.25 over here. I'm not going to chase this. I just won't. It's just not my style. Anytime I chase it, I always end up paying for it. So I'd rather be upset about not getting the right entry than having to chase it. Here it comes. Can we get the quarter? We're showing 24s here on the bid. If we can cross down a little bit on the ask, I still think this is valid. It's not filling me. I'm not going to get filled. Yeah. All right. That's fine. Eek. Yeah, that's fine. Yeah. All right. Well, that's the way it is. Well, if I get in here, I can get into 498. My level, well, that's actually not true. That's not true at all because what it's been rejecting off has been the 10 period. So I have to look at it as a 10 period retracement. So 10 period takes me into 497 and a quarter generally. So it's about 60 pennies from where we are right now. It's not a bad entry. Keeps going away from me. Oh, that's so frustrating. All right, well, it's okay. Let's not get upset about it. Maybe if it touches the 10, I can short it again. We'll see. We'll see. So anyway, I had the right idea. Poor execution on Meta. That's on me. That's on nobody else. Not the software, not anything. I should have been a bit more alive to that kind of speed. I mean, it's you guys know how it is. It's super spready and it gives you trouble getting out. Why wouldn't it give you trouble getting in, right? That just stands to reason that way. Yeah, that's the way it is. So it's all good there. I did say eek, Carrie.
I like that. Eek.
Yeah, thanks. We love you too, Carrie. Shout out to you. Shout out to you. Miss A, shout out to you as well. Yes, same thing. I'm telling you, Miss A, it is, I don't know what percentage obviously is actual technique and what percentage is psychology, but it seems to be a bit of a fair distribution between the two. So yeah, Joseph Horn, $2 super chats for us. You guys are both awesome to watch. So fun. Thank you. Obviously, we're very happy about that.
We love being here. And
yeah,
I think
we do.
I think I think we get along.
We do, and we get along off camera.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so when we get in the morning, she's dropping puns already. I'm laughing, so it's like not just us on the show. Yeah, I'm whistling. She's trying to guess what I'm singing most of the time, so it's all good there.
Let me tell you, this is not a manufactured.
No.
We vibe like this, IRL
exactly.
as well, so good times.
All right, good retracement on some of these names here, Adira, as the Fuge goes back into Greensville. Go, NQ, go. But the NQ likely may have resistance here at this 20,200 we did initially at around 12 o'clock at around noon. Here we are again, right at that level, going green, but barely. The monster, the best one, or is it the best one now? Let's see, market cap wise. NVIDIA, no, it's still south. $3.3 billion, $3.317 billion market cap at day's highs. I feel like this big getting out of it. I should have stuck to my guns on this one and said, a clear break on a closing basis of the 10 was the only thing that was going to get me out. And we didn't have a clear basis, a clear closing below the 10. We did have wicks. And here comes 135 on the monster, 134.95 now HOD on NVDA. But you're getting a nice pump in some other names as well. The one that I just finished complaining about, Meta, nice $2 move plus off the bottom. The dead one, Apple, retracing, breaking finally through the 20 on a closing basis, question mark, because we still haven't closed out this candle. This candle's got 2 more minutes. The last time we broke the 20 was this candle over here right at 11, and you can see it's a topping till inverse hammer candle, awfully bearish. And that printed down again. Not goggles, Amazon, a skewed double bottom with a higher low, looking for a possible 182 and 183 break over here as we looking for a VWAP retracement. So a decent move here on the Fuge and on these Mag 7 names. Still though, a lot of them are still below key technical levels here, so I don't want to make too much of this.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I see your super chat there. Kyle Burdett, thank you very much for the super chat. But also, so to Kyle Burdett.
Kyle, what are you doing, bro?
I am, though, involved in the NextEra Energy. I put this in the watch list. Yeah, we can tell it's the time of day that my brain decides to take a nap. And so I put this, yeah, Shreve knows what time of day I'm talking about, because I'll just put it this way, Tired Adara and this Adara are like two vastly different individuals. But anyways, so I'm involved in NextEra. This was the next, where's the next trade? Where's the NextEra trade? This was that trade. Shout out to Obi, he will be able to see on that big desk in just over an hour. But no, I got involved in this. This was on the watch list. And then also Shreve was like, oh, did you see like Kyle was looking at this one? So I was like, oh, that's cool. But no, so I liked it because we had that VWAP projection with the topping tail candle. I am risking into 85. It's just basically where the top of that candle was, and that tail, that was not English. That's where I'm risking about 8 pennies. I want to see 60s. I don't think I'll see 60s, I'll be honest. But we're going to wait and see what happens. This is not the type of trade I usually take. But right now, I want to take a moment of silence. Shout out to Darwin, 50 Cent Club AMD. Great job for you. I was in AMD long, and I got out because I was too busy looking at its cousin NVIDIA. Clearly that was a mistake. To be fair, I would have probably taken like 30 pennies on this AMD. So definitely not the right vibe, but I like this because we had those wicks here into 130, 150, 350 when we bounced back. This can be a moment for the journal. This can be a moment that keeps me up at night reflecting and being like, you know, the violence, like, Atara, what were you doing? But you know what? Honestly, I learned so much from watching that tape in NVIDIA, and I did have some profitable trades in it, though I am down on it right now and down on the day. I honestly, you know, no regrets. Also, shout out to Obi in the film We're the Millers, because the thing is, you always have to learn from something. I think I definitely learned more from NVIDIA than I would have learned taking this AMD trade. But I do really want to shout out Darwin there for that AMD Darwin. 50 cents in the money. Please does punch for you, and so happy to be here with with everyone in this. Mr. Two Pamps.
Yeah.
Pamp.
I love Darwin. He always puts like the cream. Oh wow! Can you believe it did it to me again?
Meta?
Can you believe it? I literally tried to get short again at the 10 exponential, and it still won't give me my entry. And I'm just too stubborn to chase it because I don't want a bad price. That's now almost $1 from where I tried to get short. It just dropped. Come on, dog. Come on, let's be good to each other here. You know, like let me in my Cybertruck. Let me in the Zuck train. Let's go. All right, NVIDIA breaking through 135. So this is, this is a big move here for NVIDIA now. Over 3% on the day. There it is, 135 and a quarter incoming here. 18s, 19s now, high day. This is just squeezing. I guess maybe the dip trade on this one's gonna have to be the area top at 134.75. Because that was kind of like the consolidative area top before it really squeezed, because we didn't stop at all at 135. It just kept going like it's going now. Wow, NVIDIA, 135.28. This thing, it just keeps going up and up and up and up. So we're gonna...
Oh, sorry, we do have the auction coming up. Sorry about that, guys. We have that auction at 1 p.m., 20-year bond auction. Apologies there. That NVIDIA movement was, you know, it had the whole market. My apologies. Yeah, right now the queue's here, chopping and turning around this 9 EMA level. Let's see what our auction results were. So someone was saying there's news on NVIDIA. I'm not able to find it. I've been having some issues with my blotter, so I apologize there. Sure. Apologies there, guys, for the bond auction. And we do have a whole bunch of Fed speakers as well. Kugler, right now, it's all starting at 1 p.m. So we have Kugler, and I know we have Muslim at 1:20. Kugler and Logan here at 1 p.m. We did get the 20-year bond auction, slightly lower than expected here, 4.452% versus 4.635% previous. So apologies there. That was the bond auction. Maybe a bit of a move down on the queue because of that. So yeah, sorry about that, guys.
So NVIDIA now is the world's most valuable company. Just overtook the soft one right now. And here is the headline: HP and NVIDIA partner on new generative AI offering. Do we really need more? Hewlett-Packard Enterprises has further partnered with NVIDIA to launch a portfolio of co-developed AI solutions that would allow companies to accelerate the adoption of generative AI. NVIDIA AI computing by HSP is expected to be available through a joint go-to-market strategy that would span sales teams and channel partners, trading, and a global network of system integrators, HP said Tuesday. The latest collab marks the expansion of a decades-long partnership, the company said. All right, to unleash the immense potential of generative AI, in enterprise, HP and NVIDIA co-developed a turnkey private cloud for AI that will enable enterprise to focus their resources on developing new AI cases that can boost productivity and unlock new revenue streams. You told me nothing, all right? So all they're doing is another AI headline, this time including HP. It behooves us to look at HP, which is the other mentioned name, which is HPE. Let's load up that bad boy, see if it's getting the old college bump. Because, well, I'm assuming that it would be better for HPE than here at NVIDIA. And let's see, 1 minute. This thing sold off on the news. What time did that come out? That came out right at 12:30. And this is 12:30 right here. So I don't know. HPE, I guess investors didn't like that too much. It did sell off, but it got bought right back to the level it was trading at before the news dropped at 12:30. So HPE, nothing burger there. A little confused. So I'm not sure why it's benefiting NVIDIA here more. But NVIDIA is at day's high. Unreal, man. 135.40. It's reaching pivot level 2s. Resistance level 2 on pivot. Resistance level 1 feels like a lifetime ago. It's $2 south of here in this consolidation zone, and this is on its way to the $0.50, 135.43. Unbelievable move today for the world's most valuable company now, Adara, at day's high.
Yeah, this is crazy. It's not as well, you know, like I'm seeing Louis Tortora saying that's big news, guys. It's always interesting because it's like the market sometimes decides kind of what ends up being bigger news or not. I guess right now, you know, sell the news events are kind of common as well. It's always interesting because, and I remember something Neil will say about earnings that I think is kind of relevant for some of these stories as well. Is it's, you know, it's not good or bad earnings, how the market reacts to it, and so. Maybe it's not good or bad news, it's how the market reacts to it there for the HP and NVDA. So I just want to put that out there because I think that's certainly worth noting. Also, I am still, I've had some fun here in this Nextera Energy. You know, where's the Nextera trade right now? It's in Nextera. So basically, because this is a bit less of a scalp, I decided that I wanted to trade it in a way that I'm comfortable with. So instead of just having the position and waiting, I said, I'm going to scalp in and out of it. So that way I've been able to make some profit. I'm adding in as we have these lower highs. If we break above into that 77s, which is my initial point of entry, if we break above that area decisively into 80s, I'm out. I'm done. I'm okay with that. I'd like to add a little bit at 71s, but if I can't add, I have enough of this position that I'm pleased as punch with it. What I want to see is a break below this 65s here. Then my next target is going to be into this 50 area. So we're gonna have to wait and see what happens here in Nextera, but I'm ready to see where the Nextera move where's the Nextera trade? I don't know, where's the next trade? But yeah, sorry guys, I think it's coffee time for this side of the desk.
Oh, NVIDIA. Bang!
Shout out to you.
Just took it like that. Yes, 135 dip. Aggressively added at 134.99, moves right up into that $0.25. I was able to wet my beak super quick on that little trade. Good little not mean reversion, but a quick retracement into a key. Technical level 135. It's obviously the whole dollar there. And so that I was trying to play it off that. That was really the whole precipice behind this. I was really upset of myself for taking it out here. What a stupid exit that was. I felt the winds of change were coming on NVIDIA earlier when I had that 134.33 long. And what it really forced me to get out there was the break of the 10 period. Alas, it was not on a closing basis. I've learned my lesson. If I'm going to trade off the 10, the print that gets me out has to be on a closing basis. These wicks, they're transient. So that's the look. So I'm happy with that NVIDIA trade. What's the next trade, though? As the one that Kenoba always says. Let's see exactly what we got over here. We haven't looked at some of these small cap gappers in a hot minute. Let's revisit that. And true to form, by midday, they're usually, not very good. Let's see, Pixie showing up. What's Pixie doing? Oh, my goodness. I'm just looking. Yeah, can you believe? Right, oh?
Shift Pixie.
Pixy. Even Adara knows it, and she doesn't trade these small cap gappers. She knows Shift Pixie, yeah. Pixy up 20%, excuse me, but not doing enough volume, so I'm just gonna forego that. Sorry, guys, I'm looking at my scanner on the top screen over here. I'm trying to see what's good. If anything is making moves de novo here midday, and there really is not a whole lot. So the small cap gappers that I've got on my screen are really all that's it at the moment. Unless you guys can tell me about some other ones maybe that are trading below 85 pennies, because that's where I put my line in the sand for my stock screener. I filter everything south of 85 pennies. Now, guys, someone was making fun of me earlier in the chat, and I don't blame them because I said I liked MBIO. And what I said was I had it on the side chart because it was a small cap gapper and it was trading above VWAP. But you know, my opinion can change as quickly as the price changes because my opinion is based solely on the price action. Really, that's all. Okay, it's nothing to do with fundamentals. It's not like I like the company because they're going to make money and they were a solid company and I changed my mind 5 minutes later. No information has changed about the fundamentals of the company, but they did about the price and the technicals. So my opinion will change as the price and the price action changes. And this one had me bamboozled, and the reason why is because it has no respect for any of these indicators that I use for small cap gapper trading. VWAP, some of the shorter dated moving averages like the 10 and the 20. They're zigzagging every which way, so I don't know how to trade this. Even price action support and resistance has had big wicking candles through it. That would likely get me stopped out based on my risk parameters. So MBIO, even though it's up 52% on the day and above VWAP and above $1, I find it quite hard to trade at these levels unless I'm basically taking it off a buck or shorting it off a $1.30, which is the IB high as well, very much near the pre-market high. So not much going on in small cap gapper world here, but I guess there doesn't really need to be because the future's above 20,020 again, 200 I mean.
Yeah, why would it not be? Yeah, and I mean, sorry,
right?
Yeah, right. Sorry, guys, again for missing the auction there. I can't really tell if we had a huge reaction to the auction in the markets, a reauction. But yeah, we do have some Fed speakers right now coming through. I'm trying to see if we're seeing any comments on this. I'm not seeing anything coming through right now over here. I'm just gonna have to see if we have any updates on that. Right now, I'm just in this NextEra Energy. We're like about just under 20 pennies in the money, so please just punch. I did want to add a little bit more to this position and was not able to. Yeah, NVIDIA is now the world's largest stock. That's still crazy to me, that's just wild. Shout out to NVIDIA. Are we surprised? I don't know if we're surprised, but I mean, we could celebrate it because that's a really great look here. How high can NVIDIA go, says Killer Cam? I don't think anyone knows.
I don't know.
The ceiling. It'll make its own ceiling. I don't know. The ceiling can't hold us. Shout out to Macklemore. That's what NVIDIA is being like right now. Shout out to like 2012's favorite rapper. But let's see what we do here on the Qs. Trying to push higher. These bottoming tail candles a little bit rangy. You know what? Do I want to play this in the TQQs? Yeah, I do. So we're going to get involved here. Going to risk into 80s. Yeah, I can live with that. So yeah, basically, I like this chop and churn here on these here markets. I think we're trying to push a little bit higher, so let's see what we see. Let's see what the Fed speakers see. Let's see what's going on here. Coffee, and then we will do lesson of the day.
Yeah, do your thing.
Yeah, I need that.
No worries, no worries. All right, NVIDIA right back down to that 135 again, so 2 red candles in a row on the 5-minute, but it hasn't given up the ghost on that 135 whole dollar level. And so quite frankly, this looks like a healthy pullback, especially if it holds up above that 135. So if we get 2 red candles after 4 green ones, decent here, and especially the move that it's had, I think that would be a healthy pullback. And if it maintains its level above 135, I could be persuaded to get into this for a 3rd time today. I have no qualms about that, especially if that $half level breaks too. I mean, we've been kind of doing our thing below that for a little while now. The other names that are moving, it's not just NVIDIA that's moving, guys. Apple did break through 214 ever so briefly. It's about, sorry, I mean 214 and a quarter ever so briefly. It's above 214 right now. The moving averages are starting to shift. I'm talking about the lower, the shorter dated moving averages here. The 10 is now pointing up. So is the 20. They haven't been pointing up essentially all day. Now they're kind of changing a little bit here, so we'll see if the buying comes in a little bit here on AAPL after it's been down into the right all morning. AMZN right back into VWAP, and look what we did last time at VWAP. And the one that Kanob told me as well when we moved up into this level that this level was, what was it? The yesterday bottom area consolidation, the low of yesterday. 40 pennies off the low of yesterday right here, this 182.80 level. The low bounced 20 pennies above the prior day low, the prior day's low. My mistake. Thanks, Hope. My mistake there. But with respect to price action, what I see here is the low of the day that we printed at 11:30 at 181.43. And then we troughed out again. This time we held 182, not strictly, but in general. And now that accounts for a higher low And now what we're looking for now is a possible higher high. But we have volume weighted average price standing in our way. We also have that price action resistance from earlier at 1205 standing in our way. And that 1205 didn't reject for no reason, in my humble opinion. Look at this consolidation area low with umpteen amount of bottoming tail wick shimmies into that level. So we know this was an area of price action support at the open. We move back into that area after clearing the open at around noon and we reject. So, and this is why I was complaining about not having shorted that anyway. So here we go. 182.70 coming in here on AMZN. It's the volume weighted average price. I want to see if we break it and print a new high there. So AMZN looking to get off those bottoms. Adair?
Yeah, it's lesson time now, but before we learn, let's take a second to flex our muscles with ARM. ARM here, pun intended, up over 6.5%, pushing into that 171. Thank you guys, everyone in the chat, for letting us know about this. Kind of an interesting pattern, because we sort of had a fake bull flag, I would say. We had this push up, they made our little chop and turn, we get to this level, we get to VWAP, and then we have a bottoming tail, more coffee apparently, bottoming tail candle here. And then you know what? We just keep bouncing. I love this 167 level here for ARM. ARM continuing to do those reps here to the upside. Bit of a topping tail candle around 171, but ARM looks like it does not care. So great look here for ARM. Hopefully everyone's able to, flex those muscles, get themselves involved. Sound the alarm for ARM. Yeah. That's ARM. So shout out to ARM. Thank you, Kyle Burdett here shouting it. Shout out to you, Kyle Burdett. You're in the money there on your NEE. Yeah, this has been a little bit of a slow grind to the downside. I have a very, very small amount of shares left in this. Like I said, I really wanted that 50 area. I took out 2/3 of the remaining position at the 50s. I have a piece for a dream. If we reject 64s here, which is that previous flat bottom, I will add. If not, I will get out. But right now, I am willing to just chill in this position until I have, a next reason for some next energy for the next era of my next era energy trade. But for now, lesson time. Let's learn about lessons. Coffee. Let's talk about level 2. We're going to talk today about identifying dynamic support and resistance. And I was talking a lot today about, NVIDIA and how you can see stuff on the books that you're not necessarily going to always see in the chart. It's not going to be an exact science. It does take time, and I'm definitely not perfect at it. You know what I mean? But I think the more that you are aware of these things, the more you look for them, sometimes the more opportunities you can find. So let's learn about this. Let's talk about moving beyond static levels. So traditionally, your S&R, your support, and your resistance are going to be historical lines. Horizontal lines, not historical, drawn in the charts based on historical price action. But the order book is going to offer some real-time insights into where these zones might be forming or shifting. So here's one example. Instead of what you see in a chart, this resistance and support, and as you can see, resistance and support can flip, then this is what you see here in level 2. You see look at all these orders you have around this 175.15. People want this level. This level might be here to stay. This could be some potential support. Then on the flippity flip, on resistance, look at all this resistance you have forming. Lots of orders on various different gateways. That 175.59, people want to be selling here. So this could be a little bit of resistance. So it's important to be cognizant of these levels, and you can see that if you're looking at your level 2.
Bang.
Thank you. What about order book depth, and how do you use this as a lifeline? You want to be looking for areas with significant order volume on either side of the book. So if you see the high bid depth for support, that's going to be a cluster of bids, a whole group of them at a specific price level, indicating buying pressure that could potentially hold the price from falling any further. And this area could become a potential support zone. Emphasis on potential, because not everything's gonna, some things don't work to their true potential. So you want to be aware of them, but they're not always going to give you exactly what you want. Also, I'm going to have some coffee here for a moment, if you don't mind.
Can you come to my screen, Ram? Okay, I was just looking at that other network. I don't recall its name, but they were announcing that David Calhoun has now arrived on Capitol Hill. He is obviously the CEO of that much maligned company, Boeing. It makes airplanes, if you haven't heard about it. He's going to be testifying today before Congress. And this is the part that got me. This is hilarious. The testimony comes as several members of Congress sold their Boeing shares in 2020. 174. I wonder how he's going to be met by those people who were selling. Are they going to greet him with open arms? No, obviously not. He's going to testify in front of the Senate Committee on Homeland Security and Governmental Affairs today on the safety measures the company is taking with multiple investigations, obviously, by the regulator underway. That presents Boeing as a possible volatile name during the midday. Let's have a look at how it's doing right now. BA, is it doing anything, or Bupkis? Well, it's down on the day, 2.10% at that 174.70, and the volume, I got to tell you, 3.6 million shares, and really, you haven't seen the volume bars really pick up here. So if you're interested in Boeing, you know, you can possibly put it on the side chart, and when the volatility comes in, we will let you know. And what I'll do is I'll straddle it with an alert. So I'll put an alert at 175 for the breakout, and I'll put an alert at 174 for the breakdown, so that if it does things, I know. There we go. So we activated those bad boys. We straddle it there. Thank you, Mark, telling me about Chewy. Chewy was one we had eyes on today, obviously, because it was in the news. CHWY. Let me. Oh, sorry, Adara. I forgot that you had the lesson. I'm so sorry. So Boeing, yeah. I just want to let you guys know Boeing could be moving midday. Sorry about that.
But it's okay. But did you know that Boeing and Chewy you can both look at on the afternoon show? Did you know that?
Okay.
This is how you can do it. You go in the chat right now, and you go exclamation point join.
Absolutely.
Space, $. There
you go.
Chewy, Microsoft, NVIDIA, AMD, AMC. We know what tickers are. You have until 1:50 to do that. You have 30 more minutes. So go the length of a sitcom episode, more or less. So go with commercials. So go in there right now, and you go right there in the chat, and you put your ticker of choice with a space before said ticker. That is how you get Obi and Sean, the Seanfidence and the Obi-Wan-fidence. There you go. Because Neil, who I know some people are saying he's dropping Neilage or knowledge. He's down here right now. So we have Sean and Obi, and if you want them to talk about tickers you like, you have to vote. You have to have your voice heard, because we believe in a democratic process here at Trader TV Live.
Are you short?
I'm short. Nee. Yeah.
All right. Sorry, I didn't want to talk the left.
It's all good. Yeah, I just added a little bit there. If we break back above into that like 70s level, that could get dicey. But I added because we had a bit of a rejection there. But let's continue our lesson. So we had to talk English. We talked about support just now. What about resistance, or the high ask depth? So that's going to be when you have a concentration of asks at a price level that can indicate selling pressure. And the selling pressure can stall or reverse a price advance, which is what we saw with NVIDIA at 134.50. We saw that at 134.50 NVIDIA. NVIDIA was like, no, I do not want to break 134.50. No, thank you. Right? And so I'll get more into my analysis of the NVIDIA book in a bit, because, you know, practical stuff, why not? But that's, I think, something that's kind of interesting that we can talk about. And as you can see here, here's one example. You can see all of the bids and all of the asks here and the size. So as you can see, we have a lot of size here on the bids. So you could see some support potentially forming here at 531 on this year's stock. Then a little bit of resistance that we have coming here at 532, right? So you can see some orders, the amounts of said orders, and it can show you if things are shaping up to be a bit of an interesting situation below the surface, because there's a lot of support and resistance you can see that you're not going to see in those chart lines we showed you on an earlier slide. Yeah, and here's another example. You can see size here, pretty significant size here in the bid, some support trying to form around for example, you have this big old order here at 19.19 cents, and then on the ask side, we have these multiple very large orders. So these larger orders can unveil themselves on the book, and it can show, hey, why is this not moving? The chart pattern says it's going higher. Well, maybe there's a little bit of a hidden order going like, no. And you can use those to trade and find levels that work for you. Okay. Let's talk about the art of order book whispers. So sometimes the order book will whisper to you things that the chart isn't necessarily showing you. So order book shifts are really worth noting. If you see sudden increase in bid or asks at a particular level, that can foreshadow potential support or resistance forming at that level. What about order book vacuum? So if you have a noticeable absence of orders at a certain price level, that can tell you, hey, this could be a breakout zone. If it's below a current support level, there could be some buyers potentially willing to step in. But if you have a vacuum above resistance, that can show there's a little bit less resistance for a potential price surge. Confirmation, though, that's always going to be, say it with me, key. Not key and peel, just key. So when the order book can provide some valuable clues, but it's not a crystal ball, you want your confirmation. So price action confirmation is key. Look for the price to actually touch your stall at those S&R levels. And I'm gonna continue to die on this hill. NVIDIA, 134.50. Not only were we struggling with it on the book, and we were seeing lower highs as well on the book, which is why I got out of the long and flipped short, but also it was a level on the chart. We got to that 134.50 in the chart, and then we couldn't hold it. So also, I hope that Amazon delivers you some profit there in 2 days or less. I want that express delivery profit for Sharif. But also, what about technical indicators? You want to use these indicators like moving averages or relative strength index, RSI, to gauge overall price momentum and potential trend reversals around these zones. Also, shout out to Jensen and his leather jacket.
Jensen.
I'm seeing a lot of chats about that. But also, there's some dynamic adaptations of these order book fluctuations. Remember that the order book is fluid, so levels can change rapidly. Be prepared to adjust your support and resistance zones based on real-time order book movements. That's what I was doing with NVIDIA. I was like, you know, that 134.40, I hate to harp on this example, but I think I learned a lot from just watching that book. Seeing those bounces all up and around on that. And then news catalysts impacts are also worth noting because news can dramatically alter your support and resistance zone. So if you see a change, that's of course of note. But then if you don't see a huge change, maybe be like, hey, the market doesn't care that much about that news story. Maybe I got something in the water there. So I think that's key as well. And then time-weighted average price or TWAP orders.
TWAP.
Maybe you don't want a VWAP, you want a TWAP. These sophisticated orders are going to aim to buy or sell a certain amount of stock at an average price over a specified time frame. So you want to look for these large TWAP orders like in, you know, like sharks in the water, but in the book. On the buy side near support or on the sell side near that resistance level. That can suggest institutional interest potentially aligning with your identified support and resistance zones. Of course, it takes practice, and you definitely want to make sure you're committed, but you always learn from watching too. So I would recommend the doctor's orders today. The homework is pick a book, watch the book. See if there's stuff that's interesting in the book. I learned a lot. I lost a lot in NVIDIA, but well, not that much. It was reasonable. But I learned a lot just watching that book because you get to kind of see how these things work in real time. So that's my advice to you. Not financial advice, just read a book. Read a chart book. I'm going to have some coffee now and stop talking.
All right. And speaking of books, we're often asked what books we like for technical analysis. So it just kind of reminded me, so I wanted to mention that to you. The one that I really read, I read it a couple of times, is John J. Murphy's Technical Analysis of the Financial Markets. It touches on everything, not everything, but a lot of the major topics. It's also a really good resource to know where to go next for that most detailed. So all his chapters, he credits everyone for their work. So you know exactly where he's getting the material, you know exactly what book he's referencing, so you can go out and buy that book if you want to become an expert at Elliott wave theory or point and figure charting or whatever he covers in there. So that's number one. The other two, the psychology one, the one that I really do to read, it should be like a once a year type read, is Trading in the Zone by Mark Douglas. Obviously, he's the OG. If you don't know who he is, do a quick YouTube search. He's got a lot of older videos, or like from the late 90s, early 2000s. Everything is applicable. There's no change in the trading psychology from now until then. Obviously, the trading has changed mechanically and electronically and stuff like that, but I think those two books are absolutely relevant, and if you're interested, those would be the ones that I suggest. Now, short Amazon at VWAP already printed nicely on it, like a 20-penny winner, but it's bouncing right back up. So right back into the 80s, 75s it goes, and I'm break even on it now. My stop is gonna be the exact same area. If it makes a new high above that topping tail candle for a high of 182, 89 break, I'm sitting at 92s. Shout out to 1992. When the Jays won the World Series, that's where I'll get out. I'm going to give it a little bit room. I'm short 80, so we'll risk about 12 pennies on that little bit right there for the very small size that I have left. So looking to see, bless you, Ram, if we can continue to head down here at the volume weighted average price. The future is above that 2,200 level, so that's kind of, you know, helping push these Mag 7 names higher. But I would submit to you that, you know, really the strongest Mag 7 name on the day has been NVIDIA. The other names, some of them have participated at times and other times not so much. Bless you again, Ram.
Bless you.
Like, for example, everything is negative in Mag 7 except NVIDIA. So you guys, you can do the math there. That's why I'm looking short here on AMZN. But if it ends up stopping me out for the last little bit, then that's fine. Let's see what else is going on here. Wow. Jay, you wanted me to short with you at NVIDIA at these levels. Jay, you would have killed me. NVIDIA is uninterrupted to the high side over here, 135, 66, 67. This keeps printing newer highs, and it's been absolute respect every single time subsequent to 11:15 p.m. a.m. today for the 10 exponential on the 5. There has not been a closing print lower than the 10 exponential on the 5-minute chart since this time right here, 11:15. And that 11:10, and that was the only time you got prints below that level. So it's been very, very trend following today on NVDA, and yeah, sadly, you know, we didn't extract as much money as we could have off it, but did decent on it. Decent, we'll just call it that. What else we got going on over here? GME? GME, what is that? No, you're kidding.
The game didn't stop, Sharif.
Yeah, it doesn't stop, Adair. Right back up there, Adair. It was doing the wick shimmy here with 25, a little bit below 25, a little bit above, and then we got the resolution. Now GameStop, is it in the green? Yes, it is. 25 and a fifth was the closing print from yesterday. We're at 25 and a third, rejecting off the 200 on the 5 right now. Not like I really use that level, but just wanted to let you know. Nice move here for GameStop, but I think I'm just going to leave that one. I'll leave that for you guys. You guys can trade GameStop. Let me know how it goes.
You're going to GameStop looking at it.
I won't. I'm not allowed.
That's fair.
We got to cover it because we're on the show and people want to hear about it.
I was joking.
I don't have to trade it, though.
This is, yeah.
You're tired. Ram, she's punning. She's been infected by Adara. Game over for GameStop. Don't say that, Ram. They'll call you a suit. They'll call you a suit and they'll put you in cahoots with Melvin Capital, Ram. You don't want that.
And then she said, you're welcome. And then she said, you're welcome for saying it, which we are welcome. And you know what you guys are welcome to do? Vote. Sharif knew where I was going with that because my transitions are so apparent. But if you want to vote for a ticker you like, maybe it's GUMA, maybe it's AMC, maybe it's NVIDIA, maybe it's Microsoft, maybe it's Tesla. I don't know. You guys know what tickers you like. You go in the chat right now. You go ! Join. You go space. You go $, that ticker that you like. I am Suits, says Ramin.
Wow.
So, but Ramin, are you Suits the show? Or, oh, she says, oh, she's never.
No, she's yelling at the traders.
I thought she was telling me to shush.
No.
She's a suit and she's trying to keep it covered.
Because, you know, the traders they're always exuberant back there, Adara, as they should be. We have a lot of fun on the floor.
So the market's exuberant, so are the traders.
Oh, wow. Fantastic. All right, guys. Keeping my eye on this Amazon short that I'm still in. I don't feel like I should be getting out of this at all. I see lower highs on the 5-minute candle at VWAP, which to me means that there is a bit of resistance there. Simultaneously, I'm seeing a bit of a down move here on the future. This is the look I'm seeing on Amazon right now. Doji candles as of indecision. Katina, man, 495.02 was the low of day today on Meta, bro. Yeah, the Katina man was bidding 495 flats on his last out there, or maybe one of his last outs on Meta. The great trade, though, the Katina man. He just came back from the podcast with Brendo. Make sure you guys catch that every Saturday at 10 a.m. Freedom and Wealth podcast. He's $7 in the money, if anybody wants to know. $7 in the money. We're going to have 1, 2, 3. He has $1.50 in NVIDIA long as well. He's long at 134-ish as we break higher on NVDA. HOD on NVDA here at 135 3/4 a day.
Yeah, shout out to both Manuel Palma and Mr. Long Shorts mentioning GovX. Do you have any news on GovX?
Sure. Let me
this GOVX.
Yeah, sure.
Let me take a look. Sorry, I've had some issues with I need to deal with the whole scanner issues. But yeah, GovX, great look here for GOVX. 5 million in volume, and this looks like very much a later day mover. GeoVax, I like that name.
Yeah, GeoVax Labs gets BARDA Project Next Gen Award, Katina Man, to conduct Phase 2B clinical study evaluating next generation, no, I don't want to read this word, COVID-19 vaccine candidate. All right, whatever. It's not for me. All right, go ahead. Sorry to interrupt you.
So COVID vaccine candidate there, GOVX. A little bit hard to analyze a chart when it looks this good. We're up over 100%. But let's take a look at the daily and see if there's any levels on the daily. As Sharif is happy about Amazon, guess he did get Express delivered that profit. So I'm pleased as punch for him.
Camp it.
Oh, this is honestly, okay, GovX, the next level I see that could be a bit hairy is going to be 250. Why do I say 250? You may ask, maybe you didn't. Well, I like this 250 because that was a little bit of support earlier. Then it formed a little bit of resistance. Then we haven't really seen that level, 250, and then that 270. But yeah, basically since then we've been curling lower. The next area that I would have liked was going to be 2, but we're well above that $2 area now. The reason I say 2 is because look how we had a little bit of support, a little bit of support, a little bit of resistance, resistance, resistance. We're above that 2. I think if we hold 2, that's a really good look based on the levels I'm seeing on daily. I don't know if we'll crack into 250, but that's a nice catalyst. Let's see if it gets 250. Also, please just punch to say I have taken out 40% of my position on that Cybertruck. Let's see how this goes. I would like to see us break above 185, but also, you know what's really good is our podcasts. And if you want to watch a podcast, it's this one on the screen.
That one.
Shout out to Fabian for...
Katina, man, can you give us a quick hint as to what they can expect on the weekend? The podcast this week is about discipline. So if you're undisciplined like me and don't know how to chase meta at the right levels, listen to the podcast.
Yeah.
Shout out to the Katina, man.
Also, Fabian sent us a sneak peek, which is mostly just a behind the scenes view.
He always does that.
Look at that. Shout out to, this is what the room looks like. Shout out to, I like also Fabian's like artsy shots here. Shout out to the podcast. You know, also that's, oops, we're going to get out of that. That's my message.
I love how Ram panics. No, don't look at private conversations.
Thank you, much appreciated. But yeah, we're going to get some of this Tesla here out at 804s, 180. That wasn't English. We're getting some out. Let's put it English. Okay. I'm having a moment there. Let's get out here some just above 185s. That will be about a 30-penny winner, which I think I can live with. I'm okay with that. Like I said, has this been the best day of anyone's life, P&L-wise, for myself personally? No, it hasn't. But I've learned a lot from just watching that NVIDIA book. I know I mentioned this earlier, I did give up an AMD trade so I could stare at NVIDIA some more. And I gave up, that would have been like $1 winner. But the thing is, I'm really happy with what I learned at AMD. So I think sometimes, you got to make those sacrifices. I make sacrifices, to quote a pretty obscure Dreamville song, to try to learn a little bit more here. That being said, AMD's bouncing again. Let's see. I have no qualms getting involved, risking into 154.30s. In fact, I think I will. Let's get involved. 38s, AMD. What's poppin'? You tell me.
All right. I don't know what's poppin'. Popcorn, but...
Also, hashtag no doxing. Thank you so much for
I saw that. I saw that. And then
that.
the Sofa Monster below that, she's like, she just doxed Fabian. Shout out to the Sofa Monster. Guys, I got short on the Zon because, well, it was a double top at VWAP. You can't see VWAP that well here, but you can definitely see that this is the area crest. So shorted at 182.80, and then I covered the entire move into 182.55. Sorry about that dark pool that just came in. I'm really happy with this trade. I didn't have to chase it in the way that I had to chase meta. Because I was very disappointed with myself for not having those meta trades after not chasing it. But there we go. We take this on trade, and that kind of makes up for a little bit. So AMZN, but watch out though, right? So we're getting these kind of rejection candles at VWAP, but we're not kind of getting that big push down like we did last time around. So yeah, maybe here the winds of change are coming, and we're going to see these higher lows because we definitely saw them earlier. Maybe something at that 182 and a third, possible bounce there if these higher lows hold up. So AMZN, good look there. Tesla did bounce up, and I saw a lot of people getting excited when Adair was doing the lesson because it did make its way up into the 200 exponential on the 5-minute. It's around 185.20. I don't want to say it broke down because it really didn't, right? It broke down, it retraced down into the 50, held the 50, and then a green candle formed after that. So if we get a break here above 185.25, you really have to wonder, do we go long at this level? The higher lows are in play on TSLA, and I didn't mean that to rhyme, but seriously though, they are. Each successive trough is a little bit higher than the preceding one. And you could also make the argument each crest is a little bit higher than the preceding one. Case in point, right here. There you go. So this one actually just made a bit of a higher crest. So maybe we could see 186, 185.75. It looks like a bit of an upward channel now on TSLA after, big move down earlier on. So Tesla recovering, but having trouble with 185. I can see that at the moment. In the same way that you could make the argument, Apple is having trouble with 214, and that's been the case essentially since giving up 214 at the beginning of the show. At 11:10 p.m., we were above 214. That's when we gave it up, and we haven't been able to hold above 214 since that time. It has been an interesting area off which to get short. Sometimes, you know, it'll get a little higher into that 214 and a fifth, 214 and a quarter, but for the most part, it does retrace. Right above 214 right now. Let's see if we can get something. I don't mind shorting the Apple at these levels. I'm going to sit at the 214 and a quarter dollar because that's an area top. And if that's an area top on a day where Apple has been sold, I do want all the smoke. So let's go back. Why are I know everything's so dark pooly right now. I have no idea why. Everything, yeah. So let me remove goggles over here and we'll pull up Apple. Is this dark pooly as well? No, not bad. All right, so right now it's already breaking down below 214. Not going to give me a quarter, it doesn't look like, but that's not where I'm going to hang out. We're going to sit short at 214 and a fifth. I'm going to hang out there, see if I can get the fill.
Yeah, so thank you. Yeah, I'm looking through these Fed comments here. Fed's Kugler, Adriana Kugler, saying that the central bank index could, the central bank could lower interest rates later this year if economic conditions unfold how she's seeing. So a little bit more dovish speak here as the Qs continue to try to press a little bit higher. So I just wanted to put that out there, trying to keep apprised of that Fed speak. So shout out there to Fed Kugler speaking a little bit of confidence here for people who want those rate hikes down, saying that a rate cut this year could be appropriate later. We also had one of the most notoriously hawkish Feds, Kashkari, saying that he could see one rate cut, and that rate cut would be in December. So quite a few Feds saying one cut later this year. We're not getting a consistent date and time in terms of when, but I can tell you what time you're going to see Sharif on the green screen. It's going to be in 20 minutes, but you only have 10 minutes left to vote.
People are displeased because I called it dark pooly.
I didn't even notice you called that. I like dark pooly. I like that.
I don't know, man. People don't like the words I make up.
I like them.
I think Neil Kashkari should adopt that song that
oh, wait. Obi's
I'm the cash man.
Oh, yeah.
Give me
also, Obi is like lurking behind you.
Hi.
You were asking for the photo.
What on earth? Is that you?
That's me.
Wait,
Dog,
what?
that looks like a different person.
No.
This is a mustache.
All right.
That's a mustache.
What?
Right there.
This, ladies and gentlemen, is Obi.
How?
That's not a Photoshop. This is the Ob, the one.
Are you serious?
Dude, I like that look on you, dog.
It works. I just was not aware it was the same person.
You look you look very displeased at the picture, though.
Oh, I might have been a couple. I was partying, I guess.
Oh, that's fair. That's fair. That's fair. That's respectable. Ain't nothing wrong with that. Shut up, Ob. I love that. When was that, Ob?
That was maybe like 6 years ago.
6 years ago. I love it. I love that look. Thank you for that. That's a stash.
It's a stash from the past.
Yes, it is. Absolutely a stash from the past. No, seriously, though.
Stash back.
I'm a little befuddled by that stash. It kind of had me shook a little bit.
It shook me up as well.
Right over here.
For context, guys, he was just lurking behind Sharif for I don't know how long. And then I'm like, oh, Obi's here. And then I'm like, Sharif, like Obi's just like chilling behind you. Like I think it was a bamboozling experience.
Yeah, it was
but shout out to Obi, who
good.
You can see on the big screen in 18 minutes.
I love Ob. Yeah. All right, guys. What do we got up here? Let's see. Okay, NVIDIA finally, I guess, maybe starting to find a bit of a top. I'm hesitant to say that because the last time we were doing these wick shimmies, we ended up going up another $1.50. And I'm talking about that 134 that we were kind of consolidating at, or sorry, 133.5 consolidating at that earlier. We're kind of doing the same thing here for the last 20 minutes or so, starting at around 25 after the hour. They kind of forming really horizontal doji candles at that 134 3/4, 134 in between 3/4 to a half there. So let's see. Look, there's been no closing print below the 10 exponential on the 5 since 11:15. It stands to reason that if we get one, something may be made of that. You don't have to jump in. You don't have to be first in. But it could signal, maybe a bit of a mean reversion trade. I'm less likely, just in my opinion, to look at mean reversion on NVIDIA than, say, an Apple, just because I know that their big money is going to be piling into this, and we'll wait and see. NVIDIA is just so strong all the time. So I'm less likely to want to take a short on this one, even if we do start getting prints like below 135, where the 200 on the 200 exponential is hanging out here on the 5-minute look. So I'll keep an eye on that. Amazon, it did give me an initial rejection off VWAP, but look at this, right back into VWAP. So this is distinctly different than the initial VWAP rejection that we had at 1205 and 1210. So you kind of do that consolidation area, gives you a little bit of a downturn, but right back up into that $0.75 we go. Here on AMZN, still below 183, but crucially, putting in higher lows. And that could mean that the buyers may start overwhelming sellers at said level, so we'll have to wait and see what that does there.
Yeah, and vote for your ticker. You have 6 minutes. You can see Obi and Sean at those things that you sit at, desks. Your ticker of choice, put it in the chat there, exclamation point, join, space, $, NVIDIA, Amazon, Meta, AMD, I don't know, whatever ticker you like, you put that right there in that chat, and then maybe it will be voted about and talked upon, because we are well, I know it will be voted on if you vote for it, but yeah, we're a democratic system over here at Trader TV Live, so yeah, vote for your tickers, guys. Appreciate it there. Yeah, vote for your tickers. You have another few more minutes. Also, I'm happy I got out of this AMD where I did. I wanted that break above 60s as a sign to leave my short, and then NVIDIA breaks into 80, or AMD, sorry, breaks into 80s, and I'm like, okay. Also, AMD, I've just had like really bad reads on. I think, and I've said this before, this is something I need to work on, trading while tired, because Sharif has seen me while tired. My brain is like, it's a unique species. And so I was like, oh, I'll go the long here. And then I was like, no, I like the short better. The short, I thought, was maybe a better look, because we did have, this was a rejection area earlier. And then AMD's like, nah, I'd rather curl higher. So I'm like, okay, AMD, I don't really know why. Okay, AMD. I don't know why I switched, but I did. Yeah, Christopher Cabrera, thanks for putting that out here as well. NVIDIA, yeah, we've been talking about this for a little bit here. NVIDIA passing Microsoft and Amazon, world's most valuable company. As I once saw a Reuters article say, the Jensanity there, the Jensanity does not stop. Jensen Huang, more like Jensen Wow. Great look there for Jay Huang and crew over there. Also, Mo R maybe wants to look at Lily. So let's take a look at Lily, because I saw Lily in the chat.
I thought he was voting for it. That's why I responded.
Maybe.
Yeah, I have no idea.
I mean, I have no problem with looking at you like.
I know you don't.
You don't have to tell me twice.
What's she doing today?
Oh,
1.75. Okay.
Oh, look at that rejection here. Volume not bad. Over $1 million, so over $1 million on Lily. Yeah, maybe a bit of a bounce here, 885. Not one that I would be trading today, just because I don't really see stuff I like in it. That 90 MA rejection, not bad, but definitely not something I would be hopping into with 14 minutes left in the day. I am down in the day. We had some okay trades. We had some not okay trades, but I did learn a lot from watching that NVDA book. So I'm proud of that. Speaking of which, NVIDIA did bounce. It had a nice little bounce, and I should have been looking at this instead of this AM disaster I was causing for myself. It's a little bit easier to see on my side chart because the dark pools are less dark pooly. I did it too. Oh my gosh, I just said dark pooly as well, Sharif. It's contagious. But no, we kind of had these wicks. We had a couple bullish wicks that made me think like it was a little bit doji-ish, so I thought we could have gone higher. Yeah, NVIDIA, let's see if you can make 136 your next level. You crack above. We're basically at high of days right now. NVDA. All the NVD way to the upside. I'm
keeping an eye on Boeing, and it's done nothing, Adair, since we talked about the fact that Dave Calhoun, now in front of Congress, he's at the Senate. He's going to be testifying about the obvious problems that they've been experiencing. This is after several members of the committee, in front of which he's testifying, sold their Boeing shares earlier this year, likely as a result of their weakness. So just a guess here, they may not be very nice to him. So I've been straddling Boeing with alerts on the north side and the south side to, detect any movements in the name. We haven't got any. It's done absolutely nothing. Consolidative, very consolidative at that 174.5 area. I want to let you know that even though those are bad news catalysts, Bank of America coming out today and maintaining their neutral price rating on Boeing with a price target of $200. Let me see here, what else? that's basically it. Yeah, so that's the look there. And then I'm also keeping an eye on some other, is there anything else here with respect? Oh, there's Starliner. So there's Starliner looking to return on the 26th. That is their first foray into space. It launched successfully after an initial delay. I'm always going to champion that. I absolutely love space. So anybody who's going to get involved, I'm going to champion them. Anyway, Boeing doing nothing, but there are other names as well that we didn't trade on the midday show that perhaps the big kahunas were trade. Chewy was very interesting today. We still don't have a headline on this, believe it or not. What's going on with Chewy stock? The stock is up more than 60% over the past month. What to know? The stock took off after the company reported strong first quarter results at end of May. Okay, Goldman Sachs raised its price target to $35, so nothing specific today, but I guess some institutional buying because it's up 11 2/3 a day. That's not a small move. It does have a heavier short float. Like we mentioned, Chewy's short float is 13.79% according to Trade Ideas. CHGG also in the headlines today. It got a bump there in the aftermarket after they announced yesterday they were going to cut costs. This is the company that helps with online learning. They've been decimated since the release of ChatGPT in the later stages of 2022, and they really haven't recovered. A quick monthly look at the chart over here gives you that indication. This thing was at $115. It's trading at $2.78. So it's been absolutely decimated. And I'm really not exaggerating there. So CHGG was in the news as well, but has really kind of done nothing on the day. The move was in the aftermarket yesterday. The small cap gappers that we were watching really have largely all subsided, saving except for GovX. This one is still near the high of days, trying to hold above the volume weighted average price at $1.95. Definitely off the highs, halted multiple times to the upside there. I can see this one was a longer halt. This was a 10-minute halt, not multiple times, just one time it looks like over here. And then opened up at about half past the hour there. So those are the looks there for the names that we didn't talk about. The Mag 7 names, I've mentioned umpteen amount of times. Apple below 214. Meta recovered nicely off that 495. Keep your eye out for $500. That's been a key technical area of support and resistance. Today we break it with some aggression. Meta was the most read name in Mag 7 world. I don't know if that's accurate anymore. And
it's
goggles.
Still accurate.
It's still accurate. Okay. So yeah. Oh, by the way, NVIDIA new high a day 136.14.
You know what else been a new all-time high? The SPY. Thank you guys for putting that out there in the chat. Much appreciated for letting us know about this new all-time high in the SPY. Big spiral Burdette. Nice look here for the SPY. Bit of a bottoming tail candle though. Topping tail. That's what direction that is. Topping tail candle here around this 548.50 on the SPY. What a market we've had. Like this has been crazy. It's so crazy to be entering the market, learning how to trade in a time that the market has just been wild. Also, as I'm looking at the SPY, I'm also looking at the Qs, and I have to say, I think I might have missed the range trade of the day here on the NQ. Just look at how this has continued to top and turn to the upside. Nice 9 EMA bounce. That could be my trade I take, not into closing, but into the end of the show here, because as I've said before, I only trade during this show. Tesla took some profit there. The plan was to kind of add and subtract as we broke up into, this was a level, 185s, because we had that 185 break earlier. Tesla decided it did not want to do that. Thank you very much. And I said, well, Tesla, you could have told me that before I added to you. And it was like, but I didn't have to, Adara. I don't owe you anything. So my conversation with Tesla aside, this is a stock. I want to see what we do at 184.70s here. We're kind of flirting with this level. If we decide to go on a date with this level, continue to take that to the upside, take it out to the movies. I don't know what dates Tesla wants to go on. But if that 184.70 level holds up, I will stay in this trade, but I think I should have just taken everything out with that scalp. I'm going to be really honest here. Like I said, this has not been the day, but you're not going to have every day be your day. I want to shout out the Freedom and Wealth podcast.
Oh, yeah.
John said, I was talking to him about this yesterday morning when we came in. I said, what he had to say about resilience was huge, because you learn more when your back's against the wall and you have nothing to lose than you do when everything's going well for you. I had a good last couple of weeks, but today and yesterday, the markets were like, Adara, that's not going to stay. So you just have to do is you have to punch those markets
yeah.
back. You have to say no markets, no cry. Keep going. Keep pushing higher. Keep, trying to find your own way to chop and churn to the upside. So shout out markets, but Tesla, you don't get a shout out. So
no market, no cry. Guys, ARM just printed high a day. This thing is up 7.5%. It's at 172.75. Again, it's likely as a result of, the strength in chips, obviously, and then it's joining the NQ100. So that's going to be big for it as well. Here's a headline: ARM holding shares are trading higher amid strength in the chip stocks. And as we mentioned earlier, Micron up almost 4%, Taiwan Semi 2 2/3. And you need only look at NVIDIA at a high a day. It's up 4%, Katina, man. 136.25. He just took some more out right now. Big move today for NVIDIA, but you also have the likes of AMAT, Qualcomm, SMCI. They're all in mid-single digit territories in the green, and this has been a fantastic look on ARM. Are we at all-time highs? I think we are.
It looks like
of course we are. We blew through that 150 like it didn't even matter, and this is what Neil and I were talking about at the tail end of last week. This is the weekly chart on ARM anyway. 172.75 HOD Adair. I'm just going to send it to you quickly before I start.
Yeah, good times here, guys. What a day we've had. NVIDIA's new today is making it up for tomorrow's day off, says Killer Cam. Yeah, I mean, NVIDIA's like, what's a day off? I'm going to, give you guys something to look at. So great look here for NVDA. 136, resistance who? Resistance where? Great push up here for NVDA. All the NVD way to the upside. As I say that, new highs of day. So NVIDIA, do your thing, 21. This is a really great look. I think this has been a nice look here. N2NY sent saying all chips equal $, $, $, $. Let's take a look at Micron, because Micron's been having a Macron, big old move here earlier today. Now, kind of hanging out below VWAP, slightly below the 90 MA. We're trying to make a slightly higher low here from that area. We got to that 153. Now we're at like 153.40, but with that topping tail candle in the 5 minutes, we're out to see how this goes. Bit of a downward channel here for MU. Let's take a look at Qualcomm. Shout out to Obi in that Qualcomm trade, which was awesome this morning around that just shy of that 228 level, I believe. Wow, this has been the range. I just missed the range trade of the day here on Qualcomm. Oh, Dara, what are you doing over here? You're like looking at AMD making tired trades and Qualcomm's over here. Yeah, shout out to Obi and anyone involved in this Qualcomm. Look at these VWAP bounces here. Now we're kind of curling even higher in the 90 MA, where we saw Micron kind of get a little bit more exhausted. Qualcomm, I think, had a much more measured move here and has stayed pretty strong. Nice little chops and churns. Who knows if this will break out? We are compressing a little bit here on Qualcomm, but right now, Qualcomm looking like a quality name, a quality long, and a quality range that I'm a little bit disappointed at myself for missing out on. So got to open those eyes, look at some more things. Monica Goyal asking about a name that we definitely should have looked at here. Affirm, any thoughts? Yeah, I don't know if I'll be able to confirm your thoughts on Affirm, but I'll give you my thoughts on Affirm. Affirm kind of, the opposite of what Qualcomm did? Well, Qualcomm held that VWAP sitting pretty, just gorgeous, and continued to edge a little bit higher with the 90 MA. Affirm's actually the inverse of that. So for context, here's Qualcomm again. Here's Affirm. To me, these charts are mirrors of each other. Look at, not mirrors, like the opposite, the inverse mirror. Look at this VWAP projection here, this topping tail candle. Lower highs, lower lows, lower highs, lower lows. Bit of VWAP projection. Now we're not even anywhere in the vicinity of VWAP projecting that 90 MA. As much as I think that Qualcomm chart was a gorgeous long, I think this Affirm is a pretty nice short. We'll have to see, though, what we do here at this 30.05 level. That was our bottom from right after the open here that we hung out around 10 a.m. We wicked into it, then recovered. So this could be an interesting area. How are you doing?
Good. I just want to mention one quick thing before I left. Netflix, guys, this is very much, year highs. Obviously, we're almost at all-time highs. Now, I want to mention something. There is all-time highs on a wick basis and an all-time high on a closing basis. On a closing basis here, it's 690.50. That's the best we've ever closed on a closing basis. Closed on a closing basis, a little redundant. On NFLX. There is this day, though, back the week, of November 15th, 2021, when Jerome Powell said inflation wasn't transitory. The highest print we got was $700.99. Today, we have a high of $686.44. We're very close to that that 690.50 that we closed out back on the October 25th weekend of 2021. So keep your eye on possible resistance here for Netflix as it comes back into all-time highs. It could encounter some selling. Not saying it will, but what a move for Netflix this year. What a move last year. This thing, you know, people talking about it being a $1 trillion company, I still say it's well away from that. Still about 300 billion, guys. But I will see you guys on the green screen.
Yeah. Thank you so much to Sharif for putting together the lessons and for I want to shout out your trades as well, then the NVIDIA and everything, and that Amazon, which did express deliver some profit. So shout out there to Sharif. Also, I got short Tesla. I want to talk about why, because I was long Tesla. Initially, I was long Tesla. And the level where I'm shorting Tesla now is where I got long earlier, that 184.75. Well, this is 184.70. But why I like that level as support was because, look, this was resistance earlier. We had that chop and churn. We popped higher, tried to get involved again, and Tesla was like, no. So I said, okay, Tesla, that's fine. But no, I like this level because it was a little bit of resistance, actually a VWAP here earlier. Then we resist again, then we form a support. I like support resistance flip-flops, and I will be putting on those Gucci flip-flops. Shout out to Bad Baby. Hopefully not a bad trade, but we're gonna have to wait and see. Like I said, thank you. I know Ramin appreciates that, so thank you there. We're like basically flat in this trade. I want us to break into 184.50s. I like that look. Let's see what we get, but just a trade that I liked below that 9 EMA. We're getting ready. We have 30 seconds left, but I want to quickly look. Someone said, oh, Adair, you haven't traded your baby NVIDIA. I traded a lot of NVIDIA earlier, not successfully, but I did have some okay fills, just that overall read on the name and read on the day. But yeah, I learned a lot from just watching the book on NVIDIA. It's not always going to be about P&L. It's going to be progress and learning. But right now, in about 15 seconds, it's going to be about the big kahunas. You've got Obi. You've got Sean. You have Sharif and his famous mustache on the green screen. And they're going to be looking at some certain tickers. Always happy to be here with you guys. Hope you guys had a great day. Lots of Fed speak coming through as well, with some of these Fed speakers saying they want to wait to see a little bit more confluence before bringing those rates a little bit lower. But you're not going to have to wait at all to see Sharif at the big screen, guys. See you tomorrow. Same bad time, same bad channel.
Welcome to the afternoon rundown, the show where you choose what we talk about. The big kahunas, they're locked in, they're ready. Make sure to get your vote every day on the midday show there in the chat. Let's start off with the futures.